Okay, my friends, welcome to game number 1 in a best of 5. This is in rounds 2 of King of the Desert 2. Again, just to start off this best of 5, I just want to say thank you again to Mem, Matcha Salsa, and Microsoft, Mem, the organizer, and the others for sponsoring this tournament. It's fantastic stuff, and I've enjoyed the casting so far, as have the viewers here. Japanese for LaaaN, he's in the red, and then we have Yinghua in the blue, playing as the Berbers. So I don't know what the response is always going to be going into tournaments. I don't know what the response is going to be from viewers going into sets. I feel like many people seeing these two players in rounds 2 are probably confused. So I just want to give you an idea of what these players have done to get here. LaaaN beat Tim, the Chinese legend, who was definitely favored over him, 3-0. And then Yinghua beat Doubt 3-1 in round 2. So when I looked at the brackets, to me, it was pretty much a given that Doubt and Tim would win, and I thought that this round 2 matchup would be Doubt and Tim. But they're both at home. Doubt's probably smoking some shisha and watching the stream right now. He is not playing in round 2 of a big money tournament. Pretty incredible stuff. And so for that reason, that gets me excited, because both of these guys were not expected to get here. And so how far will they go now? Whoever wins this one is going to have to face up against the Fat Dragon in round 3, and Vivi's had a pretty strong tournament so far, so they'll again be at a disadvantage. But I think they might be evenly matched. I think this could be one of the best of 5s in rounds 2. And anyway, Japanese versus Berbers. LaaaN can utilize Japanese. He definitely plays the style needed for them. He's a strong man-at-arms player. That's probably what I'll expect. And then Yinghua, he will probably open up with scouts. But we'll start with the maps here. Yinghua, I love his map. I love his map. It's not perfect. Of course, it's never going to be perfect on Arabia. But look at the gold and look. Oh, he's rung the bell. Oh, God. That actually scared me. Oh, no. Oh, he saved the boar as well. Oh, man, that could have been a disaster. Well, first game jitters from Yinghua. He rang the bell, which is not something you see pro players do often. And then the boar almost ran back. But yeah, the gold and the stone can so easily be walled in. That's wonderful. I think this area of his map is going to be tough because of the hills, but at least having the gold and the stone there is nice. Now, LaaaN is already here, and he's looking to lane. And I don't think he'll be successful if he's looking to block the villagers. Sometimes when the villager's collecting the pig, you can stand in front of the villager and the pig, and the pig will kill the vill. But not with Berber villagers. Berber villagers are too fast. And okay, LaaaN goes to steal the pig. So Yinghua, as he runs out to get it, says, I know pig. And his scout is waiting here. And can he stop LaaaN from getting this pig in game 1? We're at 5 minutes now. So regardless of what happens here, the players will have to play on. No restarts. All players get 1 restart per best of 5, but you have to call it before 4 minutes. And so far, this is pretty good for Yinghua. He's really lowered the HP on LaaaN Scout. And okay, that's great for him. And the pig stops. So LaaaN, he fails to bring in the pig. And all he gets out of it is delaying the food from Yinghua. Yinghua, his uptime might be delayed. It might be delayed, so sometimes it's actually worth it. Because normally he would have collected all that pig by now, and he's been on goats, which is a bit slower, and he had to add farms, which is a bit slower. And here comes Mr. Pig. All right. Oh, people want to see the seeds. Yeah, let me tab out quickly. Thank you for reminding me here. I'll put that on the scoreboard, okay? So Yinghua was the 27th seed in this tournament. The 27th seed. And then for LaaaN, it was the 22nd seed. And they're in rounds 2. That's almost unheard of to have 2 players with these seeds move on and beat Doubt and Tim, you know. I think Doubt was 6th seed and Tim was 10th or 11th. So, yeah, scoreboard should update for us. And perfect. Well, I'll tell you what, the lame has definitely worked for LaaaN. He might not have gained any food from it, but he delayed Yinghua, and LaaaN's on the way up to the next stage first. Already making the militia. He wants to go for man-at-arms. I didn't look at LaaaN's base, but now that I look at it, I love this too. Nice back gold, nice wood lines, wallable map. He will be taking the initiative here as well, which is a big deal. And Yinghua is up super late to the next stage, and he'll be going scouts. Normally when you go scouts, you'll be up faster than your opponent, so the lack of the pig, the lack of the board, definitely playing a part here. But, you know, he has good scouting at least. This is important. And he sees his opponent has flags on his barracks, so he's looking for the militia now. Now, he doesn't see them. Okay, now he sees them coming forward. And he's had the time to wall up a little bit, so he's prepared for this. Yeah, so going into the this means that going into the tournament, Yinghua doesn't have Loom, by the way, which is really weird. LaaaaaN was considered the 22nd best player out of the 32 that were in it, and then Yinghua was considered number 27. So Yinghua versus Dao is the biggest upset that we've seen in this tournament because 27th seed beat 6th seed. Does Yinghua just go right into ranges? No, he still builds a stable. Okay. Just kind of an interesting situation. Already, LaaaaaN is here with 4 Japanese man-at-arms, so he'll bust through this palisade wall real quickly. Unfortunately, Yinghua has the faster villagers, but no! No, he can't wall it off. Now, he needs a house here and a palisade, and I think he's fine. But man, is this awkward. And sometimes man-at-arms is just about buying yourself some time. And that's exactly what has happened here. Yinghua's economy is really gross. And he's just waiting for his scouts, but my goodness. The start for LaaaaaN, really strong. He's going for an archer range now. He has plenty of farms at home. Full map control. Even has a spear forward here. What is Yinghua doing? I guess he wanted to keep the units trapped in there. Well, guys, the best decision now for LaaaaaN is arguably to attack the stable. Because if your opponent's full walled, sometimes it's good to attack that stable and kill it. What you could also do, of course, is run around and hope you can do damage, but I think he would be walled out. He, of course, doesn't know that. But if I were him, I would try and attack the stable, and then Yinghua would either have to repair it or just lose it. Now, it gets risky for LaaaaaN now because that's quite a few scouts coming forward. 3 is enough to kill villagers, so he'll need spears. Or he'll need full walls. And he has opted for spear and full wall. So his base is completely secure. Still risky for LaaaaaN though, because what Yinghua is going towards can beat man-at-arms into archers. If you make scouts and then you get 5 to 10 skirmishers with fletching, you can kill pretty much anything your opponent's making in Feudal Age. And the reason I say that is because mass skirmishers can kill the man-at-arms and the spears, and it can also kill the archers, and then the scouts can mop up everything else. Also, the beauty of going scouts is that you have a lot of food income. So if you look at the farms that Yinghua has versus the farms that LaaaaaN has, LaaaaaN, he's put more wood into getting his blacksmith and his archery ranges up. So he doesn't have as much food eco right now. So there's many reasons that scouts work, but that's the big reason is because once you get the ball rolling with your economy, you'll have a stronger one. I love Berbers, man. Berbers are so cool. Now, I was just gonna say, with Berbers you can run away when you need to with villagers. And okay, he does here. That's a good example. But the first one was just bad. He's like, oh, 4 men-at-arms? Let's just try and hug them. How you doing, guys? I love you. I haven't seen you around in a while. Yeah, nice cleanup from Yinghua. Nice job. And this is where LaaaaaN needs to be either extremely patient or he needs to push now. He needs to run out now. Because if he waits too long, then Yinghua will have the skirmisher numbers to kill him. I think that's a good idea, Chunk Shark. I think I'll have someone work on a housed emote for me. T90 housed will just be a house with like an X over it or something. It's a good idea. Viva Let T90, keep being efficient with your studying, man. Keep being efficient by watching the stream. Okay. Well, archers and skirms coming forward for LaaaaaN. Again, this is a risky move. Yinghua needs the golds, and then he can get fletching. Perfect, he's getting fletching. And this is probably not something that LaaaaaN can fight. So land should try and do damage, but avoid the army his opponent has. And here he might be able to hit a villager. I don't know if he'll kill one. Depends how many archers can hit it. Yeah, exactly. So he delays his opponent a bit. Can he kill one here? Nope. Berber villager's too fast. And this is where land should probably run. So this is about game sense. He knows his opponent is going into skirms. How long does he stay here is the question. So, again, he sees his opponent's building a stone wall. Probably expecting something's coming. And there we are. The scout goes down, and now land needs to run. Okay, so you have two options in land's position. And sorry for the lag. I imagine we're about to encounter a pause, which is why it stuttered a bit. So your opponent's going skirmishers. So what you can do... Okay, I like the distraction there from land. That's really good! That's really good! Sure, he'll lose the archer, but the rest of his army survives. Okay. Okay, option number one is just go Castle Age and go full crossbow and elite skirm if you're in land's position. Option number two is go Castle Age and add a stable. And then you'll go crossbow with knights. The nice thing about having knights is you can kill your opponent's skirms quite quickly there. The risk in that is that Yinghua can make camels as Berbers. But it can work. And Yinghua has a lot of stone. Does he really want to go camel archers this game? Wow, and look at that. In game one, the castle times are identical. The land has a few more villagers working for him, but still. Well, that's a lot of stone. I figured he would go to stone because he wanted to stonewall. But he has 500 stone. I think Yinghua wants to build a castle and go camel archers. Ajap Alejandro says, T90 official, what are the numbers next to the players' names? It's their age. It's their age. It's definitely not their seed. It's their age. So let's get some T90 walls in the chat for Mr. Yinghua, the 27-year-old waller. That's a lot of commitment to stone, a lot of commitment to walls. I'm surprised. I don't think camel archers really excel versus Japanese. Yeah, we found out before King of the Desert 2 that Viper is 1 year old, exactly. 12 months into his life and he's already dominant. It's crazy. But why go camel archers? I don't get it, really. If that's what his plan is, it puts him at a disadvantage, in my opinion. He'll have a bit of mobility, and sure, when camel archers are massed, they can kill anything. But my word, I feel like going with 2 or 3 stables as Berbers with their cheap knights with the skirmishers could be the better play. Well, both players are going to hit Castle Age in a moment. I imagine Lan will have plenty of resources to add TCs. Oh, never mind. He's adding a stable. Okay. So he's putting wood into the stable. So he will make a knight or two. But it will be crossbow and bodkin immediately for him. One bad thing for Lan is that his wood lines are tough. So he's stonewalled, sure, but his wood lines are tough to secure. And maybe that's why he's going for the castle here. To protect his wood line slightly. Lan arrives, he remembers this being open, and now he sees stone walls. Man, it is pretty frustrating to play against full stone walls like this, but you have to take what your opponent gives you. And walls do give up map control, so perhaps he'll sit here and look for a Vil pick. And okay, now Lan's thinking, what do I do? He has to think his opponent has skirmishers. He doesn't know where they are, though. This is where it gets risky. He also didn't see the castle going up, so this could actually be tough. No knight on the way yet. Okay, he sees the skirmishers. Oh, this could be so good for Yinghua. This could be so good for Yinghua. The castle's on one side. The skirmishers are on the other side. Yeah, this is where you send a knight forward. Here it comes. And send the crossbows away. Nice move. Nice move from Lan. And nice move from Yinghua as well. I don't really get the camel archer choice, but if you mass enough of them, they're awesome. Yeah, and I think he'll patiently boom behind this where he can. He'll be on 3 TCs here in a moment. So obviously Age of Empires 2 is about skill, but I think what makes the game beautiful for me is the strategies can be completely different every time. This is a 20-year-old game, and here I am casting it to almost 2,000 people, right? So the strategies are very unique, the strategies are very interesting, and it makes the game timeless for me. And in this game, they've both gone for different strategies with different civs, and I'm still not really sure which strategy is better. I questioned the Camel Archer choice, but I only questioned the Camel Archer choice from Yinghua because that didn't give him a strong Castle Age advantage at the start. But now, it's arguable, but maybe he'll have more of an advantage as the game goes on because he can't be raided, he's on 3 TCs, and his Archer unit is much faster and more mobile. 55 villagers versus 54, so not a lot in that. And I think LaaaN, he can't do anything more except make crossbows and some of his own skirmishers possibly. LaaaN is on 2 TCs, he's about to go to 3 TCs, and he's also walling up. So, important to note here, the stones for LaaaN are really tough to collect from. Okay, they're forward, they're rangeable. And I'll get to the golds here in a second after this fight. This is a fight that LaaaN should win. Again, Camel Archers are really weak versus crossbows, which is why I question this. Like, once you get Thumb Ring, and once you get 20 to 30 of them, they're strong, but that's not going to cut it. But anyway, there's a gold here for LaaaN, and there's a gold here, so he has quite a few forward resources. And then there is a gold here for Yinghua, so there's some exposed areas for the players. And something for Yinghua, sorry, not Yingwang. And something that could be tough for him is also the fact he doesn't have his lumber secured. So LaaaN could snipe some villagers if his opponent's not careful. Yeah, see, at least one vill's dead. Oh, what are you doing, Yinghua? I guess he didn't realize. 2, 3. Oh, this is so good for LaaaN. 4 villagers down. That was kind of a gift, if you ask me. And also, this is overchopped, but it would be a mistake to run in, I think. Run back. Oh, wait. You know what? He's getting more value from this. Okay, he kills one more vill. Yeah, now he's trapped, though. Now he'll lose his army. Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. He'd already killed villagers. The last thing he wanted to do was give Yinghua some momentum to push forward and kill his villagers. That's exactly what he did when he ran into the castle fire in the TC. So, yeah, sloppy play there. But, you know, LaaaN still in a nice position, I think. Slight vill lead. Making what I see as stronger units right now. I still don't get why Yinghua didn't go Knights and Skirms, but he's making Genitors, guys. Or at least he made 2 of them. Alright. What? Are you kidding me? Is he really going to castle there? Well, Yinghua beat Doubt, so he must know where to place castles. He's learned his lessons after facing Doubt. That is a really interesting castle position, right on that small little hill. What does it do, though? I mean, I think the smarter place for the castle is on your hill. On the left hill to secure your gold, and then later on just focus on this. I mean, if LaaaN is able to kill this Machinel, then he kills the Genitors and he kills the Camel Archers for sure. But I doubt LaaaN expects that ever to be going up because it's such a weird castle, so instead he's running away from his base. Yeah, see, here's the problem. I guess LaaaN doesn't have the most mobile civ, but what's going to happen is Yinghua will want this gold, and it's possible that a lot of LaaaN's military will arrive there at some point, and he won't have anything to secure it. However, with Yinghua's castle here, which will go up... Oh! LaaaN, are you serious, man? This guy has balls of steel. Okay, nice split micro. But I don't know if this is very good for LaaaN, because this castle's going to complete. Oh my goodness, he's losing his crossbows to the Camel Archers. And now Yinghua can push this gold, and that's why I pointed out the golds earlier, guys. LaaaN is about to click Imperial, but he's losing all map control. And Yinghua might not stop there, you know. He could tower this, he could build siege here. And this is right next to LaaaN's ranges. And LaaaN will now click up to the Imperial Age. Oh, but it's the worst possible time to lose your military. It's the worst possible time to give away momentum. And this is giving Yinghua time, and Yinghua will click Imperial as well. And Yinghua knows this gold's important. You know, funny enough, he has not pressured this one, but there's a TC here. And what can LaaaN do to stop even battering rams and camel archers? Nothing right now. Nothing. He's just now going into elite skirm. He was counting on keeping his crossbows alive and upgrading them to arbalest. Oh, this is going to be tough now. Okay, honest question. What happened today? Because we saw Genitors in a 4v14 game earlier. We rarely see the unit. And now Yinghua, in game 1 of a big tournament, makes Genitors. These are mounted skirmishers only for Berbers. And most pros have said for a long time, or at least shown with their decisions, that they're not very good. New meta, guys. And what does LaaaN want to treb back the castle from blue? He needs his own castle. He can't get his own castle because he doesn't have access to his stones because they're on the front. So LaaaN just didn't do enough to secure his golds and stones. Okay, here come the skirmishers and here come the crossbows. Lots of skirmishers in the mix here, and they're going right for the camel archers. This is good stuff. More ranges for LaaaN on the back. It's really tough for Japanese here if they don't have a castle, because they don't get bombard cannon. And they don't get siege ram either. Oh, he got a castle up. Okay, he must have purchased some stone. I didn't see he built that. So he has a castle on the left. Okay, this is good. This is good. Very close game. Well, Yinghua has full map control. He's going camel archers and genitors. I still think arbalest and skirmisher is better than them. I still think it. But he's used the mobility. Hitting the stone a couple times. Hitting the gold a couple times. Obviously sitting on the gold right now. LaaaN split earlier. He will not go in for a split there. And here comes the first treb. Now, this castle is pretty awkward to treb if you're LaaaN, because you would probably want to go for the siege workshop and the archer ranges first, because you can't safely sit a treb here at the moment. So yeah, he has to go for the tower even. Not sure. Is he going for the tower or the siege workshop? Yeah, I guess siege workshop. You know, I really don't know. Even still, I'm not sure. This could go any way now. 146 population for Yinghua, but I'm not sure that regular camel archers can face off against fully upgraded elite skirms. And just one Mangonel isn't going to do it either, so we'll see. Here comes a small raid from LaaaN. He'll go to the wood line. Yinghua doesn't have light cav teched into. He really needs to do that, because if he had light cav, it'd be a different story. And okay, capped ram from Yinghua. He's using the rams versus the trebuchets. Can he kill one? This could be a big deal. He will not. He will not. And now the camel archers are going to die to the skirmishers. And meanwhile, the skirmishers will go to this wood line. Again, this could go either direction. Now the populations are both 150. So it got better for LaaaN there. And he kills Yinghua's trebuchet. And this is a 1 HP Mangonel for Yinghua, and it is not going to kill the treb. This is interesting, guys. I think LaaaN is slowly taking the lead. Okay, there's the light cav upgrade for Yinghua. That's what's needed. But the eco's not looking good for Yinghua. He has a lot of idle time because of the skirms. Japanese, they don't need a ton of gold. Not like other civs. They can rely on their trash. And LaaaN will make more skirmishers on the right and hold from this for now. I think that Yinghua's castle's dead. Like, he'll lose his castle in a bit. But he is going for Hussar. So if he gets Hussar in the mix, there's no response. LaaaN doesn't have like pikemen out. He doesn't have any arbalest in with his skirmishers. So Hussar would kill all of this. And okay, there's the barracks from LaaaN. So he realizes what's coming after losing his skirmishers at Yinghua's base. Ooh, this is a fascinating one. This is a fascinating one, guys. 170 population for LaaaN. 130 population for Yinghua. Yinghua will lose his camel archers here again. All that LaaaN needs is 10 to 20 pikes in front. And he's fine. He'll get his gold back. He TCs this extra gold. He'll probably go for the relics soon. Remember, both players pulling off upsets in round 1. This is game 1. Oh, I thought there would be more friendly fire there. Yeah, LaaaN was housed badly for a second there, but he'll castle the hill, and I don't see how hussars can stop this castle from going up. Really nice job from LaaaN, because remember, he lost all momentum going up to the next stage. I still think that going camel archers is just a mistake versus Japanese. I haven't seen it do more than knights and skirmishers would have done, but that's exactly what Yinghua has gone for. It is what it is now, right? Big difference between the civs at this stage of the game is that Japanese are very slow. They're very strong, but they're very slow, and Berbers have more speed. So what LaaaN needs is some stone walls, he needs some castles on hills, he needs to secure his flanks, and he's trying that now. He's trying to stonewall because he knows he can't chase down hussars, and that's the only way that Yinghua can beat him is if he uses his speed. So honestly, great play from both players. Great play from LaaaN to realize he needs to stonewall, and great play from Yinghua to realize he needs to raid. But that's going to be the end of that there. He can't get in here because LaaaN gated behind. This is high level stuff, man. This is high level stuff. I just think Berbers died to Halberdier Skirmisher. And if LaaaN ever gets into the eco position to make Samurai as well, yeah, I think the game's over. But LaaaN's not pushing yet. He's still taking his time to get popped up. 190 population. No relics yet. There's so many relics on the left-hand side. The one extra gold is here. LaaaN has it. The other extra gold is here. Yinghua has it. Okay, this is what the hussars can do. Villagers going down for LaaaN. This is why he needs to push. Or even, you know what? He could tower the flanks instead of castle the flanks. Wouldn't be unheard of to do as Japanese. But probably the better play is to patrol a few halberdiers there. Okay, here comes LaaaN. Yinghua has no chance with the camel archers. Again, I don't think he can deal with this. I don't think he can kill the skirmishers and the halbs. Yinghua needs to distract LaaaN to the point where LaaaN can't push with this big ball of army. And he's trying. He's trying with the hussars. But he's killing a few vills, but his hussars immediately die. The TC dies. Yinghua's losing wood control. He's losing map control. LaaaN gets the walls up. I'd really like to see him get the relics. Something about players playing Japanese in this tournament and not getting relics in late game. We saw that with Tatsu, I believe, versus Stark, right? It was really annoying me. I mean, there is a lot going on here, right? So it's understandable. But at a certain point, you got to snag them before your opponent does. LaaaN sees 3 of them. Elite Camel Archer for Yinghua? What? Why? Like, try go Onager or something, right? Like, Onager would be a nice move. I don't really get it. I guess he has to stick with it now, even if he doesn't like it. He is on the left, and the Camel Archers will kill the halbs, but he could lose his castle here. You know, credit to Yinghua, though. He does have tons of gold. 1,600 gold, 1,300 food, stone for another castle as well, or stone for repairs. Oh, towers from LaaaN! LaaaN wants to go for the Japanese towers, but he'll go forward with them. Well, this is getting interesting now. LaaaN will make halbs in defense. He could lose his TC, he could lose his tower, he could lose his gold. But Yinghua is going to lose a castle. And they're both near 200 population. Yinghua is making bombard towers. Or, sorry, bombard cannons. That's one way to keep himself alive here. But I don't see that castle staying up. Yeah, the castle will die, and LaaaN will lose 1 trebuchet. At least, I think he'll lose a trebuchet. Yeah, he'll lose the trebuchet. Could be more. We'll see if LaaaN realizes. Now, interesting that LaaaN has lost his TC, he's lost his villagers, he's lost his lumberjacks here. He's going for more towers. LaaaN is losing his trebs. I don't think... Oh, no, he sees it. He sees the bombard cannon. He's just using his trebs versus it. That's all he can do. And he will... Well, I thought he was attacking it. Let's see. Will he kill it? He hasn't killed it yet. He hasn't killed it yet. He sent 4 trebs forward. Okay, he'll at least save 1. And you know what? Yinghua can do this. Yinghua, if he castles here and keeps pressuring this gold, he can then get the relics and just have more overall control. In the main fight, it's still very, very close, and LaaaN's building towers everywhere. Normally, I wouldn't get excited about towers, but it's smart for positioning. It seems as though LaaaN is aware that Yinghua is having wood problems, but he's back here now. He's fine. Yinghua has 2,000 gold, 2,000 food, 2,000 wood, and he has this extra gold secured now. But just when the castle goes up, it could be trebbed right back down. What a game. What a game this is. This is so close, man. LaaaN has more population, but he doesn't have a lot of control now. Just because his civ doesn't have mobility. And maybe that's what Yinghua wanted. Maybe he knew that skirmishers would be a bit slower. So he felt like Hussar and Camel Archer would be better than, say, Cavalier and Elite Skirm. I don't think that Yinghua saves the castle. He bought a ton of stone. But, oh, the bombard cannons are here. The bombard cannons are here. Can he do this again? Can he do this again? He kills one of the 3 trebuchets. He has lost 1 bombard cannon. LaaaN stopped attacking the castle. He loses another treb, LaaaN. Wow, what a game this is! What a game! I think this treb will go down. It's just a bit of RNG, right? It depends. A little bit of luck. A little bit of luck. But Yinghua's making enough bombard cannons. Makes me think that LaaaN will lose his treb. And LaaaN could lose this gold. An amazing first game. An amazing first game. And there it is. They traded treb for a bombard cannon. And this is where Japanese start to drop off a bit. The lack of mobility is just obvious now, right? Yinghua, what are you doing, bud? What are you doing? No, not like this. Oh no, I can tell you what happened. He meant to click the tower, but he misclicked it. He clicked here and they ran in. So 2 bombard cannons wasted. No, that's so bad. Bit of a throw. It happens to the best, guys. It happens to the best. These towers are obscene. Just ridiculous how many arrows these towers are shooting. But seems to me like with the capped rams that Yinghua has, he'll push this back. And LaaaN is trying to make light cav and raid, but he got 1 through. And hey, maybe that one will kill all the farmers if Yinghua doesn't pay attention, but I don't think he'll get much more through. LaaaN did get 1 relic. Remember, he could have gotten these on the left, and he didn't. Well, I think that, you know, top 10 players would have snagged those. That's not something LaaaN did. And now that he's lost control, he doesn't have many advantages. He loses his stone miners there. He is definitely intent on pushing back this castle. But he's losing the right. And it should be advantage Yinghua with the relics, because he can get 1, 2, and 3, assuming he sees it. Yeah, he sees him. He sees him. And he's snagging this one. Great play. Let me check the resources for LaaaN. He does have 2,000 gold. You don't use gold all that much with Japanese. So he has that going for him. But he needs 1 slow, condensed push with a lot of halberdiers, a lot of trebs, a lot of skirms. And maybe samurai. Maybe samurai. Magrabi camels now for Yinghua. That's a unique tech. It is a unique tech. That means that his camel archers will regenerate HP. It's pretty slow, but in a long game it can be helpful. And Yinghua needs to take advantage of his mobility more, and he's doing that now. He's on the right, killing villagers. And he will... Oh, there's a hole. Oh no, this is so bad for LaaaN. You've got to be kidding me. That one single hole lets in 40 hussars. Oh, this is disaster, man. This is a disaster. He's trying to push this castle, but he's at 120 vills now, and he's going to lose so much to this. His farm eco is going to get destroyed. And I love what Yinghua did. He not only had one group, but he had 2, 3, 4, 5 different groups for land to chase down. And land now has 40 idle villagers. He's sending halberdiers back in defense. And if you're sending military back to your base, that means you're not going to have a lot on your attack. And then here comes Yinghua to defend this castle yet again. And I think he can do it. He has bombard cannons on the way. We've seen this before. Bombard cannons on the way. Hussars on the way. He's still buying stone to repair this. Oh! Oh, the camel archers mispatrolled. Luckily, he noticed. That could have been bad. Just needs the bombard cannons to connect with the trebs. Yep, he's going to keep this alive. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And sure, land might not have lost a lot of vills, but look at the idle time. 50 idles. Half of these farms aren't even working. And he's losing his trebs. What a play from Yinghua, man. What a play from Yinghua. You know, land killed quite a few of these bombard cannons with his trebs this game. But not near as mobile. Bombard cannons you can roll around. Trebs you can't. Or at least you can't roll around and fire. And say goodbye to another treb land. It now seems like it's just a matter of time. It feels like it's just a matter of time. Berbers simply have more control at this stage of the game than Japanese do. Japanese, they probably need to be in Yinghua's position. Yinghua's been having some really funky patrols, and it's freaking me out. He's mispatrolling into the enemy units, but he's fine now. He's killing some towers. Small pointy boy attack from land. Not going to be near as devastating as the light cav were earlier. Yeah. I like the population for land, but to me, it doesn't... I'm not sure what he can do, right? I guess he can be patient, and he can hope that he can trade well versus the camel archers. Because if Yinghua doesn't have camel archers, then... And if Yinghua doesn't have bombard cannons, he just lost another one, then he's going to win out in the trash war. And that's a good Mackinac engagement, because the camel archer's stacked. But if Yinghua plays this well, and he has been, he should be just fine. And he has 3 relics. So I think that Yinghua should continue doing more of the same. He should continue to try and raid. Use his speed where he can. So send hussars back here. Send hussars through here. If there's any holes. And then if you're land, you need to chew up the gold units your opponent has and hope you can win this with trash. And honestly, if you look at the population, Yinghua doesn't have that much military. He has 50 versus the 50 of land. And what are you doing, Yinghua? You just threw away 4 capped rams, and now you're throwing away the trebs. And he's already threw away, what, 4 or 5 bombard cannons? This is not how you close out a game. What is going on here? You know, the first time I saw the bombard cannons go down and I could understand, it was a misclick. The second time I saw it happen, I thought, okay, he was attacking a unit, the unit ran away. But the third time, losing those trebs and those bombard cannons, what is going on, Yinghua? That was sloppy. That was very, very sloppy. Well, my goodness, who knows now? Who knows? You know, land has 1 relic. He's been trying to tower here, which I think is kind of funny. But, just a wild game, and land's now going for the keep upgrade. Researching that to try and keep himself in this game. But he's actually winning. He's actually winning if you look at the pop, at least. I think map control is more important than pop here, but... Get it? Keep himself in the game. Keep. What's up, Cribbles? Nice to see you here, man. Do we really need the T90 oof now? Anytime I make a bad pun? No, don't throw away the holy men. You throw away the trebs, they're just some wood, but don't throw away the holy men. He's throwing away the holy men. Yeah, say goodbye. You didn't pray hard enough. Sorry, guys. Can LaaaN win this game? Can LaaaN win this game? What a grueling battle. What a duel. Game number 1 in a best of 5, guys. My goodness. Well, I would like to see LaaaN get this relic. It's not like he's making many gold units, but it helps, of course. I've been saying it for a while now, guys, but I will make a T90 boo emote. I just want it to be boo in text. So anytime I make a joke, for those that don't like the dad jokes, they can boo me, which is fine. You know what? Where does LaaaN have wood? He has wood here, here, and here. He has most of his lumberjacks on this side. If LaaaN loses this wood line, he loses 30 vills. And he does not have a lot of wood in the bank either. So now, okay, as he gets the second relic, he's looking to tower this. That's awkward, man. It's very, very awkward. Well, Yinghua now sending his camel archers to that side with some skirmishers. It's tough for LaaaN because he's just reacting now. He doesn't have the speed with his civ. So he's just reacting to where Yinghua goes. I do like how he's trying to both react defensively, but also run out with some small attacks. Completing these towers just makes it annoying for Yinghua, as he can't push that without siege. And we've seen what Yinghua can do with siege. He just loses them, right? So maybe LaaaN is hoping to bait Yinghua into throwing away more bombard cannons. These poor camels. Look at this camel, man. Look at these guys. Not only do they have to be right in the middle of this battle, but they get to see other camels dying in the battle. And yet they seem so peaceful. They seem so peaceful. A trebuchet now for Yinghua. Capped rams, of course. He keeps trying to kill LaaaN's towers. Or he keeps trying to kill LaaaN's keeps. But the towers are really helping. What LaaaN needs now is stubbornness to stay in this game, and that's what he's been using. And without the towers, I don't think he would have survived some of these attacks. And he kills another siege unit from Yinghua. Which Yinghua, he just abandoned that trap. He didn't even pack it up. I think he's concerned with the units he sees on this side. Yeah, the keep one's not intentional. It's a word I would normally say, even if we weren't talking about keeps, so. I'm a bit taken back by this, guys. Yinghua has wood. He has food. He has gold income from 3 relics. But he's making camel archers, and I don't think camel archers help him much here. He sends his camel archers back, but he's no longer pressuring LaaaN. And LaaaN is pushing back a little bit. Now, if I wanted to make a really bad and cringy pun, which I never would, I would say, oh my Lanta, if something bad happened. But I won't do that, okay? I don't want you guys to cringe too much, so I won't make the pun. But I think LaaaN needs to use his gold for trebs. Because if you kill the production buildings from your opponent, you kill the castles, then you can't make camel archers. I think that's what you have to go with. Yinghua doesn't have many castles, he only has 2. And they're in exposed positions. I guess if you've never heard Oh My Lanza, then it wouldn't make any sense for you, so. Google it. I don't even know what that's from, actually. I've just always known that phrase. The KD is close. The population is close-ish. More rams coming out now. These rams are just dying to the Japanese halbs. And LaaaN is doing this. LaaaN takes the score lead. He sees the monastery from his opponent. He knows his opponent has the castle there. I'm just waiting for LaaaN to make some trebuchets. His castle is in a good position to do that. This is a crazy game, and they have to play potentially 4 more. This is only game 1. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Whoever wins this set, look out for them in the next round versus Vivi. Because they've been so stubborn, so good, that they could beat him. Now, obviously, anyone in this tournament has the skill to win the tournament. It's just unlikely with many, right? There's a solid top 10 that you'd expect to have a chance, but these are pro players, right? And if they have a good day, if they have good maps, if they have good civs, it's possible. But I think LaaaN, more than anything, has been impressive here. Yinghua's decisions in Castle Age kind of confused me. And I don't want to talk about that too much, but LaaaN's stubbornness to hold on after losing that gold was strong and impressive. And now who knows? Who knows? I don't know who's going to win this game. Somehow Yinghua's up to 100 military. He's making skirmishers. It's almost like both of them can't push to finish the game. And it's a bit understandable. LaaaN has the towers, and Yinghua can't seem to get his siege in close. And then, well, I guess LaaaN should have trebuchets, but anytime he's looking to send trebs forward, Yinghua outpops him. So it's been a wild game. I think LaaaN might have too many villagers now. He has, I guess his eco seems balanced, but he has 130 vills. It's 90 for Yinghua. So Yinghua has more population space for military. Okay, again, he sees the patrol, and he'll probably kill the halberdiers. Nice job. Siege workshop from LaaaN. This is wild, man. This is wild. You know, with many civs, they'd have siege ram here, and you would go siege rams with your trash, siege ram with your archers, but both of these civs lack siege ram. And for Japanese, it's even worse because they lack bombard cannon. So capped ram's really not going to do it for either of them. So it would need to be bombard cannons and or trebs, I think, for Yinghua. And then you have pretty much the treb option if you're in LaaaN's shoes. And it just takes time to do that. You can hit things from range, but it just takes a lot of time. We might get to the point where players run out of wood, because Yinghua's getting wood in the south. I mean, he has a lot in the bank, but all the rest of his wood is in harm's way. So LaaaN could kill that. Same with LaaaN. If LaaaN loses this wood, it's even worse for him, because he can barely take this. He can barely take this and this, right? So it's battle for map control right now. LaaaN raiding with a few light cav in that right corner, but I think this will be snuffed out. It should be snuffed out. Then again, he has a lot of buildings here. He has a lot of production buildings. Look at this. It's not just one or two stables. He has a whole military force coming in. Well, my goodness, guys. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting camel archers at all in any set today. And we had that. We have the unique tech, of course, where these camel archers are gaining HP slowly when they're not being attacked. Japanese we've seen featured quite a bit in this tournament. Japanese has worked in this tournament for many players. This is where they tend to struggle, but LaaaN has somehow found a way to stay in this game. And now, it's hard to say who's even winning this game. I still want to say Yinghua because he has one more relic. I still want to say Yinghua because he has more military. But that can change in the blink of an eye, right? Yinghua needs to seed some farms. He has 11,000 wood. He's been playing too much force nothing. He needs to farm in this back corner and wait for it. Oh, there we go. Look at those beautiful farms. Just one more farm there. Please. 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 It's fine. It's fine, okay? They're doing a lot right now. If those were my farms, there'd be 10 tiles in between each one. Let's be honest, because they're moving so quickly. Diabound in the Twitch chat says, who has better trash, Japanese or Berbers? Well, Japanese for sure. Japanese do. And that's the problem that Yinghua's running into, because the halberdiers are so tough to push. It's interesting. Yinghua's losing his TC. He's losing the right-hand corner. LaaaN... Land's just running out of wood options now. He's definitely running out of wood options. Because he can't take this. He'll chop through this and this. Yeah, so I guess Yinghua, if this continues for the next 10-20 minutes, will have more wood. And he also has more wood in the bank. But Yinghua doesn't have the population. He doesn't have the population at all. Wild game, man. Wild game. How much wood does Land have? He has 11k. It's only 1,000. Sorry, no, Land has 1,000. But he's spending his wood more, right? So he might only have 1,000 in the bank, but he's spending his wood as we speak. So he has 100 military. And Land definitely knows that there's farmers and lumberjacks back here. Because Yinghua has spotted him twice now with a light cav. $10k wood for Yinghua. It wouldn't be a bad idea to tech into your own Halbs, possibly. Just to have some type of a buffer beyond the Hussar. Honestly, might be too late now. But now that I look at this, the Hussars won't work as a meat shield here. They'll die pretty quickly. So Halb and Skirmisher is better than Camel Archer and Hussar, at least in a straight up engagement. The beauty of the Camel Archer is that it's mobile. One hour, 30 minutes in. The population is close, the score is close, the relic count is close. Everything about this game has been close. And Lan is still, with this one stable, sending light cav there. I love it. I love it. I think if Lan takes this hill, he has a real good shot. Because this hill is why Yinghua's able to hold this so easily. He's doing more damage from on top of the hill, but if Lan can somehow gain that hill, the rest of this game should be quite easy for him. Ooh, okay. This is good from Yinghua. He sees the lumberjacks. He kills the lumberjacks. Remember, Yinghua has wood. Lan does not have a lot of wood. And Lan goes uphill. Don't love the fight. It's so tough. You need light cav versus skirms. But then the camel archers can kill the light cav. And Japanese light cav are pretty bad anyway. You need halbs versus the camel archers ideally, or just in front. Really tough to balance and know exactly what you need and where you need it. But Lan has consistently had more population. He's had 20 more military and he's had 20 more vills. This is doable. I think if Lan can save his light cav on the left, maybe wait till he has a dozen of them and send them in, he could do damage here. But he's sending in one by one and that hasn't been working out. Now I see this force is being masked by Yinghua. So perhaps he's looking to push in here, but he'll run into towers again. Hard to say what he can really do there. And oh, Lan! Okay, he has a group of light cav. It's not just one. This really helps. Yinghua has 72 vills. What a game, man! What a game! I don't like Yinghua's population. It's only 130. He doesn't have the food. He's not making many hussars. He's not making many skirmishers. He has some here, but Lan's resource balance is better, despite lacking wood. Lan is loading up the rams to go for the castle. Can he kill this castle? Because if he kills the castle, he kills the monastery with the relics. The population is looking really good. And of course, if Yinghua freaks out, he'll leave the right-hand side, which means Lan can push right in, and that's exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, light cav are going to the farmers. Is this it? Light cav are going to the farmers in the back corner. Lan is everywhere. And he might not kill this castle, but he's definitely peeling back Yinghua. I think the castle will stay up. It should stay up. But now look who has the hill on this side. And if Lan can get some rams here, unfortunately he's actually pop capped, he's housed, but he can get some rams here on the archery ranges and the stables. If he can now raid the farms, this could be the way to finish off the game. Listen to the noise of land creating military nonstop. It's crazy. He loses 20 military, boom, immediately 200 population. The guy is playing so good, and I think that Yinghua is going to struggle to follow all of this. He's only at 55 vills now, guys. And fortunately, he has the wood, but I don't think he has the farm numbers he needs. You need food to make the skirmishers. You need food to make the hussars. Wood and gold is not going to cut it. Oh wow, Land has 20 halberdiers just sitting here. He probably has more idle military, actually. It's something he needs to keep an eye on for sure. But yet, Land is everywhere. This is amazing late game. Still sending Lightcap to the back corner. Has some skirmishers and halbs in the back corner now. And here come the capped rams. I think Land can do this, guys. I think Land can do this, and what a game it has been. Yinghua's population is just far too low. And the camel archers, while they regenerate their HP, it's just not going to be enough. Not versus skirmishers, not versus halberdiers, not versus rams. You need something more. Earlier it was 60% of the map to Yinghua. Now it is 60% of the map to Land. Which is remarkable because Land doesn't have the mobility. I mean, that could shift, right? It could definitely shift. But what Yinghua needs is time to create more vills. And he's creating more vills, but sending them and they're not doing anything. So he needs the TCs to send the vills to that very back corner. The KD is not impressive for Land, but it's about pure numbers and pure positioning. I'm fascinated by this, man. I'm impressed by this. Less relics. In my opinion, the less mobile civ, that's pretty obvious. And he had less map control. But he hung on. And this is a game that many people thought Yinghua would have won 20, 30, 40 minutes ago, maybe even 50 minutes ago. My goodness. Just think back to early Imp. That was like a whole nother game. They've been in the Imperial Age longer than any other age in this game. This has been nuts. This has been nuts. Honestly, the one thing that's hurting Land is he's creating too many halbs and skirms. What he needed was more rams. If he had 10 rams here, he could have killed more. I also don't love the fact he's going for TCs. I feel like if he killed the archer ranges in stables, then that would have been better, but you know, he's still done damage. He's still getting the map. And I think he'll push it on this side. And that's more rams this time. He's learned his lesson. And again, he has Yinghua out of position because Yinghua is back to defend his base. Yinghua sends the camel archers forward. Will it be in time this time around? Because the castle's halfway down. And there's six capped rams with halberdiers inside. Nice touch to send the halbs inside. And that castle's a goner, man. And that means the monastery could go down. At the very least, that means that Yinghua's lost positioning. He'll lose farmers. Wow, okay. Yinghua's raiding the lumber from Land. But will that put a dent in Land's eco? Probably not. He still has 2,000 wood. 180 pop versus 110. So that's substantial difference. And it's just the military, man. Just the military. 50 military versus 100. Berbers, they can't deal with full halb and skirm. I think there was a time where Onager could have possibly been justified. It's a risky move. Of course, bombard cannons work when you don't run them into your opponent's towers. Yinghua will be kicking himself for that. Now, does Yinghua call the GG when he goes below 100 pop? That is what a lot of players do, myself included. Because you feel like you're behind, you know you're behind in positioning. When you go below 100 pop, that's the sign that it's normally time to call a GG. He's not there yet, he's close. He just can't keep up with the raids. And he's lost one castle, and this is the last castle for Yinghua. I don't see him keeping the castle alive. He can't kill these trebuchets. Roach says that's why I resign at the start of the game usually. You know what I meant, Roach. I meant 100 pop in Post-imperial. Come on now. Yeah, I think that as long as this castle goes down. Frickin' mods. As long as the castle goes down, LaaaN will probably close this one out, and he keeps the trebs up for now. Populations just dips below 100 for a second, and the castle's being trebbed. The camel archers are dying to the skirmishers and the halberdiers. And there's the GG. And what a game, man. What a game. That was an incredible game from LaaaN. What a performance. That is just game one, guys. That is just game one. LaaaN wins it. And this is after he lost full map control, all of his military momentum prior to the Imperial Age. I mean, I would call that a comeback. It's not the biggest comeback ever, but I would call that a comeback. I still feel like Yinghua had so much more potential with Berbers in early Castle Age. I think if you go for elite skirm and 2 stable knights, then you can get full map control and you can do some real damage. He didn't do damage, Yinghua. And if you wanted camel archers, that possibility is still there, even after opening up with knights and skirmishers in Castle Age. Just transition to camel archers later, and I think you're fine. But it's easier to say now. It's easier to say now. And what I can tell you for sure is that we'll go on to game 2 next. 1,500 kills for Yinghua was not enough. More food, more stone for LaaaN, but man, was that close. Like, Yinghua had 5,000 more gold, and he still wasn't able to close that game out. Yinghua was just a bit... The only bone I have to pick with him in the Imperial Age is he was wasteful with his bombard cannons. If he would have kept those alive, if he would have kept his trebs alive, he could have pushed more on that left-hand side, which was probably the only reason that LaaaN survived, because he didn't lose that. Remember, LaaaN had 30 lumberjacks there, so Yinghua was certainly wasteful. But that's just 1 or 2 moments in a 2-hour game. So you really have to be on point. You have to be near perfect in these games. And LaaaN gets the win. Okay. Cvad, welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you here. Chat, if you're in the chat and you're excited for game 2, can you say something? Say hello, throw me a salute. Tell me your favorite joke. I don't know, but I want to see chat blow up here for a second because I'm really hyped now. I'm really hyped. You know, after hearing about LaaaN and Yinghua making it past round 1, I was mind blown, and that game was mind blowing as well. What's up, guys? What's up? Well, I'm just going to take the time now before Game 2 begins to thank everyone for subbing. That was a very long game, and I missed some shout-outs. So thank you very much, Theoretical Farcist, for the resub. Thank you, Anzu, Garina. Thank you very much, Third Chess, Sunderer, Pete Wave, Eamon Blackfire, Hertezion, Siler. Thank you, is it Angiki? I think I got that right. Thank you, Mr. C. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Lestafante, A28 Bot. And then Beneb, thank you guys. I know I say it a lot, but I really wouldn't be in the position to do this. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people right there. Thank you guys for subbing to the stream. If you are out there and new to the stream, this is an awesome tournament, and I'll be casting it all day today, and I'll be casting all day tomorrow. But yeah, I love my Twitch subs. Big Billy Bob, thank you for 27 months, man. That's a crazy amount of time. That's a crazy amount of time. Thank you. Okay, so we have to keep the action rolling, of course. It's what you guys are here for. And we'll have the next game in a second. LaaaN just used Japanese. And then we had the choice of Berbers for Strange Plastic, who is Yinghua. So it's either Indians, Malians, Slavs, or Incas for LaaaN. It is either Incas, Franks, Spanish, Vikings for Yinghua. And I'm going to sip some water real quick. T9, do you say, I know I say this a lot. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Well played, Masseter, man. All right, guys, we have game 2. Let's do this. Let's do this. Again, all shout-outs for any donation subs, that will all be in between games, okay? Because I'm going to put most of my attention on the matches. But I do see them. Thank you, Teutonic Falcon. And obviously, it's very appreciated. Slavs and Incas. Ooh, well, I'll tell you one thing. If you liked Tower's last game, you'll like this game because that's probably what we'll see from Yinghua. Yinghua is a Chinese player who's known for his aggressive strategies. He didn't really do it last game because of his civ, but you see a lot of pig stealing, you see a lot of goat stealing, you see a lot of men-at-arms, you see a lot of towers from Chinese players, and you see that from Meso civs as well. And so here comes Yinghua already with his eagle to steal a pig. Something that LaaaN tried last game and he failed with, if you remember. So Yinghua looking for a bit of revenge here. This map is very open for LaaaN. Very open for LaaaN. I guess it's wallable, but the gold and the stone right next to that hill, that's unfortunate. It does have a little bit of gold on the back, I suppose. And LaaaN will probably be happy to see that the eagle has left this side. Yinghua unfortunate not to see the pig. Monkey D. Luffy Jack, welcome back, man. Okay, Yinghua will make out with a goat. Wait, not make out with the goat. Not make out with goats. Like, he will... It's not what I meant, okay? Oh, he could get the pig as well. He could get the pig as well. I meant he's gonna... There's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. My career is ruined. I didn't mean it like that. I meant that he'll steal the goats. So he'll steal 3 goats, and he'll get the pig. Oh, this is amazing. I think LaaaN should call a re. I think LaaaN should call a re so I can edit this out of the YouTube video, and because he's lost his goats and he's lost his pig. Will he call a re? Thank you, LaaaN.
Yes.
Thank you. So Yinghua essentially forces a re out of his opponent because he stole the goats and the pig. Thank God my reputation is saved. Just to point this out for those that might be new to all of this, all players get 1 restart per best of 5, and that could be for any reason. It could be because you made out with a goat and you didn't like the taste. It could be because you had a bad start, deleted the bill, whatever. You just get 1 per best of 5. But here's the achievements. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 across the board. And we'll go back and we'll do the same civs with a different map generation. Yeah, I'm sure that you guys knew what I meant by that. The choice of words was probably not the best. Obviously, I won't edit this out of the YouTube video, so YouTube gets to hear the joke as well. I think for this tournament, I'll be uploading every single set as 1 video, with the exception of the final. I think the final might be separate videos. Yeah, exactly. It'll be clipped out there. It'll be clipped. Yo, it's Ray says, where can I see the bracket? You can type !bracket. You can type !brackets. Or you can type !superfragicalifragidosis, whatever that word is. Yeah, that. Nancy Plays Games, thank you for the 3-month resub. Aiden, Crazy Weird, thank you for the new Prime sub. Thank you, guys. Oh, Skip, I see the clip, man. Oh, I saw it. Dave and I watched the clips from that stream later that night. And if you're not a sub to the channel, you're going to get timed out if you post a link. But you should be right back in business, French boy. It's just to prevent spam. Pure Love Gang says, T90 Official, I love you very much. Do you love me? Well, of course I do, man. If it was Pure Hate Gang, I might not. I think Yinghua's dropped. Yeah, Yinghua dropped, so it'll be a few minutes. Okay, he's back now. Maybe they needed to rejoin for a connection issue. But guys, Yinghua is going to lame again, and there's nothing LaaaN can do about it except be more cautious. It was the correct move to call a restart there, in my opinion, because losing 3 goats and a pig is too much to come back from. You would have to full wall your base and pray your opponent wouldn't go tower rush to survive. What is this exactly? Hold on a second. I saw that Yinghua dropped, so I think this game is a dead game. Yeah, it's a dead game. I have to go back. Sorry. It would have dropped after a minute and a half. Smoking Panda says, T90 Official, is this game recorded or live? Well, you can read the title of the stream, or you can look at the title on the scoreboard. Smoking Panda for your answer. Hey, T90, are these games played on standard speed or slow speed? They're played on standard speed, ultra. Okay, so I think that Yinghua's Voobly crashed, and they're going to restore it from the point that they dropped from. So, again, might just be a few minutes now. Okay, so later on today, Leary and Valise will play. So we'll have Leary, who's the second seed, facing off against the first player that could possibly trouble him, Valise. Valise is about, let me look at his seed. He is... I thought it was mid-table. 15th, yeah, okay. So he's 15th. Tomorrow's going to be even more exciting, in my opinion. We'll have Hera and Tato tomorrow. We'll have Max and Lix tomorrow. We'll have MBO and Nikov tomorrow. So some awesome games coming our way. So if you have plans for your Sunday, cancel them. Tell them I said so. They'll be cool with it, trust me. That's what I would do anyway. I think I heard T90's phone vibrating. No, that was not my phone vibrating. I don't know what you heard. Uncle Chips, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. So predictions for game 2, guys. Incas versus Slavs. What are your thoughts? For me, I think it comes down to how effective the lame and the tower rush is. Because I like Slavs a lot more than I like Incas, Castle Age onwards, so I think that Yinghua will need to take some advantages before that. Inca Eagles Pikes can win, but it depends if Inca's wall, because mobility can kill him. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? So Eagles and Pikes only win if you get enough of them where the Slav player is forced to fight you. And I don't see that being possible unless Yinghua goes forward and does damage there. Wodehouse, the winner does not get 16,000. The 16,000 is the prize pool split. If you'd like to see the split, you can type !KOTD2. I don't have it memorized. I've had that question a few times. You just have to look at the link. I will maybe get to it when we're not in the middle of casting. It'll take you to AoE zone and all the details are there. I think... And again, I could be way off. I think it's 8,000 to the winner. Yeah, I won't even say because I don't know. The game's about to start. Can someone whisper me the Viper ACCM finish? No spoilers. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Guys, if someone's asking for results, please whisper them so there's no spoilers for people who have just joined the stream. I will be re-streaming all of this today when I go offline. So if you miss anything and you'd like to watch it live with people, I'll do a rebroadcast, as I will probably do tomorrow as well. All right, so this is where they restored from, and Yinghua had dropped, okay? Now, interesting that Lan already trying to get his goats, and Yinghua already here. Remember, Lan, he cannot call another restart, so he's lost the goats already. And so, good start for Yinghua. Where are the boars for Lan? Oh, man, well, he's fortunate, man. His boars are on the left. He's fortunate. I don't think Yinghua will be able to snag them. Lan doesn't know about that yet, which is, I guess, unfortunate. But hopefully he'll find them. His base is pretty compact. He has a stone on the back. His gold can be walled in. Could also easily be towered. I guess it's an okay base for Lan. At least he can push the zebras. He can push the zebras to get some more food. Yinghua, I like Yinghua's base. Only thing I don't like is the front with the hills. But the fact that he has a back gold and 2 woodline options is nice. Can wall in towards the TC as well. So it's pretty good. I mean, if he walls here to here, then his base is rock solid. He'll have all of his gold secured. Okay, Lan sees his pig. And Yinghua sees Lan's pig. And Lan will attack the scout. And this is pretty much all Lan can do. Lan has to attack the scout from blue to stop him from stealing the pig. But if they take a straight up engagement, if they fight each other, the eagle always wins in Dark Age. Another big reason that eagles are amazing for laming. Yinghua could still lame. He could still steal the pig. He sees it. He should get to this side. And just, well, maybe he's thinking Lan might block him. Yeah. he's thinking twice about this, but definitely get your I know pigs ready. Yeah, land needs to snag this soon, I think. Just send the Vil out earlier and snag this. I like how he's distracting the eagle. You know, what's risky about this is, if he tries to bring in this boar, he goes through a one-tile gap, and all that blue would need to do is sit his eagle in that one-tile gap. And if he does that, the villager can't get through, and the villager just dies to the boar. But as long as he keeps land back far enough, he'll be fine. Oh, this is so interesting. Is he going to steal the pig now? Oh, he sees the one-tile gap. I think he should try and block the Vil. I don't think land can take this. I don't think land can take this, really. Oh, he's gonna try it. He has loom. Okay, run in to the one-tile gap and just sit there. Yeah, just sit there. Oh my god, the boar can't be brought in! The boar can't be brought in! Now this is funny. The eagle's trapped in there. Or he was for a second. Oh man, great play from Yinghua. This is so frustrating if you're Lan. Look, Lan will try again. He deletes the palisade. He goes back. Oh! Oh! Oh my goodness. How annoyed would you be? Yinghua, go back! No, Yinghua! Can he block it? Can he get to the side of the boar? Sometimes the boar just bugs out. He's fine. Well, alright. He brings in the pig. I guess well played, Lan. That's as good as it could have gone for him, right? I definitely think Yinghua could have done a better job there. I don't know why he ran back. There was nothing to disrupt him. He didn't have to fear any military coming in. If it was a scout, he could have killed it. So I think he should have stayed closer to that and taken more advantage of the situation. But still, Yinghua delayed his opponent. I believe he stole a goat, correct? So he's fine. And it will probably be man-at-arms towers for him. I would be surprised if we don't see towers, because Incas have that discount on all their stone buildings, which of course applies to the towers. But, hey, just straight man-at-arms could work. Yinghua doesn't see his own 2 goats here. Something he missed out on scouting because his eagle was so forward. And Lan will... Yeah, this looks like a scout build for him. And, wait. Oh, it's just late man-at-arms, okay. Ooh, so going man-at-arms is Slavs. Well, you know, it's good defensively, right? But I think ideally you would want to open up with scouts here, so you can build the farms. Are you guys going to bring up the whole makeout comment every time now? I guess you will. I shouldn't be surprised. MBL says, how is he 23 pop with Loom going at 10:06? He's just better than you, MBL. No, it's the overlay. It's the overlay. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Because it's going to be around 11 minutes. I wonder why the overlay bugged like that. So remember I said this gold was wallable? It's also very towerable. Yeah, you're fine, MBL. You're right. That wouldn't make much sense. Is everything behind? It seems like everything on the overlay is behind here. That is weird. Something to keep in mind then when we're looking at this. That tower is a nice tower from Yinghua. It denies the wood. And, oh boy. Not just passing here, Lan. Oh my goodness, that was just utter destruction. Lan's in trouble. Oh wait, he's sending his man-at-arms forward. This becomes interesting. Because Yinghua might not be able to build more towers. Ooh. Well, meanwhile, the man-at-arms and the eagle are in. But can Lan trap them? House it! House it! You go, woman! You go! Oh, wait. No, you don't go. You suck, woman. Yeah, you could have trapped them in there. So messy. Messy. Both players taking some losses. How much stone does Yinghua have in the bank? 150. Okay, so that's enough for one more tower. Does he have another stone out here? Where's his other stone? Oh, it's back there. Okay, never mind. Oh, and Land builds his tower defensively here. Interesting. I guess versus 4 men-at-arms, walls and towers could work. But he doesn't need walls because apparently he wants to fight. So that was sloppy from Land. Well calculated so far, but nope, 1 villager down. Yeah, bit weird. Could have house walled that one, you know? Oh, here's the next tower for Yinghua. He wants to deny the gold and the wood further. Man, I'm not sure if I like what Land did. Let's think this through. So if he came back defensively with his men-at-arms, then he would have been outnumbered. And there would have been a tower. So I guess, honestly, the best approach, despite this being messy, is to go forward like he did. Take his opponent off stone. Guys, I didn't call her dumb because she was a woman. I call her dumb because she did a dumb thing. I would do the same if it was a man, okay? Very efficient lumber eco for Yinghua. He has 10 lumberjacks on 4 straggler trees. Why not take the zebras? I feel like if he garrisons some of these villas and goes to the zebras, that's a nice food boost. His berries just ran out. His eco is... Yeah, there we go. Okay, these guys called it. They called dibs on the zebra. Makes sense. That happens sometimes. Forward barracks from Yinghua. Now that I didn't expect. Forward barracks. I guess he wants to go eagles. But he built the barracks forward, okay. He'll also collect that gold. Game has definitely slowed down, and something to consider now is that Slavs have the faster farmers. But, you know, I like Yinghua's position. So this is the way this is played out. He's made a few archers to kill the man-at-arms from Land. Land goes, oh, there's archers. Let's make some skirmishers versus that, which is fine. But then, of course, eagles counter the skirmishers. A nice job from Land to kill an archer. But that'll probably be the end. And as it stands, Yinghua has denied 2 wood lines and the main gold from Land. Land's other gold is here and other gold is here. This is just an awful map for him. He needs to take control of this gold. Or this one. When you're playing versus a Chinese player who's controlling Incas, this is one of the worst maps you could get, man. 3 towerable golds. What would he even do with these golds later on in the game? I guess he could TC them. He could TC there and there. It's just tough. But he has the faster farming to rely on. He's making scouts, so he'll make some scouts and skirms. He's doing the correct thing. The correct thing is to play this out a bit more in Feudal Age. You can't just go to Castle Age now. You need to get more fights in. Because otherwise, if you both go to Castle Age, your opponent will have gold and you won't have any. What does 22 and 27 mean behind the players' names? It's their ages. So Land's doing pretty good considering the age difference. I'm going to say that every time someone asks. I'm not trying to be a jerk. By the way, it's not their ages. It's the seed for the tournament, okay? I know that many people probably don't know. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's not their age. But I am going to say that throughout the whole tournament when people ask. Because there's always going to be someone. Well, it would be funny when it's Viper. Like Viper and Leary final 1 and 2. What's the number mean? It's how old they are. It's how many 4-0 games they played. Definitely would be accurate for Viper. That's for sure. Okay, so here are the scouts. And again, Slavs, their farms are starting to kick in now. And so they can pull this off. It's just tough because now the Eagles and the men-at-arms, they have some upgrades. So the scale mail armor upgrade has come in, which gives them more tankiness. Also gives the villagers more tankiness, which is a nice bonus. And so Land, he needs to pack more of a punch. When you're against a Decisive who wants to go Eagles, the scary thing is if they get them masked and upgraded. And they're getting masked now, so he needs to chew up those numbers. He's also going for a second stable, so will we see all-in Feudal Age scouts from him? It's definitely not to hold out for the Knights, so it's got to be scouts. So he'll make a lot of them. So Yinghua will probably lose this army. It's just a matter of how much time he could buy himself with it. Because he'll go more towards Castle Age, I imagine. So Bloodlines comes in, so 65 HP on the scouts. Villagers are also fighting, and this would be a win for LaaaN. But it was a big investment. It was a big, big investment into this. And now if I look at LaaaN's point of view, yeah, LaaaN's about to click up to Castle Age. Or not LaaaN, did I say LaaaN? Yinghua. Yinghua, blue, okay? Red is behind. He needs some more time, he needs some more engagements. And it's still going to be really tough. But I do think that he could get his gold back. Does he even know there's anything here? I guess he does, and he wants to avoid that. There's 3 spearmen here. That could be enough for Yinghua. The gold is kind of walled in. The wood is definitely walled in. It's now or never for LaaaN. He must know that Yinghua clicked up as well, because Yinghua's score went down, which is what happens. And another barracks, so probably pikemen and eagles. So earlier I said to someone in the chat that when you're in Yinghua's shoes, you need to have enough eagles and pikes where your opponent's forced to fight you, and we're about to see that. Once the units are upgraded, then there will be so many of them that LaaaN is forced to defend somehow. And he can't do it if he's all in scouts, so he needs to do damage now. LaaaN's only option is if Yinghua has all of his military back defending. Because otherwise, once these become Eagle Warriors and once the spears become pikemen, there's nothing he could do at his own base. So he needs to buy himself a lot of time. Again, still no gold for LaaaN. He has not secured any gold whatsoever. There's a tower for Yinghua. Can he house here? Oh, this is risky. Oh, he didn't get the house up. He's fine, though. He has Inca villagers, so they'll survive a bit longer. Yep, tower goes up. Castle Age comes in. LaaaN's running away, and LaaaN is losing his scouts. This is game over. This is game over. We're tied up now 1-1. So much faster game. LaaaN couldn't deal with the towers. He didn't have the gold. It was just a tough, tough map. Remember, he called his restart because of the lane from Yinghua. And then Yinghua got a gift of a map and a Civ matchup, and he took advantage of it. Score is now 1-1. We'll move on to game 3. I'll look at the Civs. I thought this series could go to 5 games. These guys are pretty evenly matched with the seed, and at least game 1 was really close, right? So logic would tell you that we might see 5 games here. I won't look at the achievements too much there, though. It was a shorter game. It just came down to Yinghua with having better execution. That thing with the pig was weird, though. Like, that was really weird. It definitely delayed LaaaN, because if you're Slavs, you'd normally advance faster than Incas, at least if you're going for scouts. So I think LaaaN would have wanted to go scouts there, but then had to fall back to going man-at-arms, and then he lost a lot of momentum. Okay, Civ-wise, it's Indians, Malians, and Incas for LaaaN. Those are the Civs he has remaining. It is Franks, Spanish, and Vikings for Mr. Yinghua. Wow. Okay, so we will not have any mirror matchups. Indians can play out well against Franks and Spanish, not so much Vikings. Malians and Incas can be good versus all these Civs. I don't know which Civ draft I like better here. Vikings are a solid Civ, though. Vikings can beat Malians, Vikings can beat Incas, Vikings can beat Indians. Vikings are arguably the best Civ here that he has remaining. Because Franks can be a bit vulnerable versus all these Civs, depending. Spanish can be, depending. We'll find out soon, guys. We'll find out soon. Again, it's a long day, so I'm going to drink some water. How can Vikings be good? Well, they have an amazing economy. They get free wheelbarrow in Feudal, free handcart in Castle Age. And they have, like Malians, for example. Malians have the high pierce armor infantry, but then Vikings can just go into their own infantry, which would be better than Malians. Indians, they couldn't deal with crossbow pike, potentially. And then Incas, sure, they go Eagles, but then Vikings have the infantry to counter that. Incas have strong archers, so do Vikings. Vikings are a solid Civ. But as always, it depends, just like Mountain Dew and Prento said. It depends. That's why I say arguably, right? Arguably. Here to play, hit a year. That's awesome, man. I guess you've been here to watch for a year. Thank you for the whole year of subbing to the stream. Kirstman, thank you for the 2-month resub. Sean gifted MBL. Nice. Thank you for doing that, Sean. Thank you for watching MBL. Nivida, thank you for the $5 donation. And Nivida spoils the results for everyone because he saw the games. He said, spoiler alert, one of the 2 players will win. Thank you for that, Nivida. You just ruins my whole experience, man. Sajobis, thank you for the prime as well. Now, Vikings, I wouldn't call them top tier. I would probably say they're top 10, though. I just want to know when Yinghua will go Spanish. Because he's definitely going Tower Rush. He'll go Tower Rush into Conks. That's probably going to be his play. And that's probably one of the riskier civs for him to go with here. Because if the Tower Rush fails, you're just dead. So, whereas with other civs, you play it more standard and you have ways to come back. Spanish, you rely on a strong Tower Rush. T90, can you give a recap of the last game? I was watching without sound. Well, yeah, a pretty quick recap. Yinghua had excellently placed towers. He denied 3 golds. And then he hit Castle Age faster. Oh, by the way, Lan said, nice map, come on, ... in the game room afterwards. So he wasn't happy about that map. Honestly, the King of the Desert maps leading up to the tournament, I wasn't very happy with either. I think the maps are a bit too open at times, which can be unfair and punishing to players. But for the majority of the games, they haven't been the talking point, which is good for a tournament. Okay, game 3. We have Lan and Yinghua, and we have Incas and Vikings. Fun Civ matchup. So Lan lost to Incas last game, seemed a bit salty about the map, but now he's Incas himself, and he will be up against Vikings. I like this matchup for Yinghua. I really do. We'll talk more about it. There's potential for both, but Yinghua, he's a great Tower Rush player himself, so he'll probably know how to defend from this. But first we'll need to look at the maps. So, first off, Yinghua's gold. Sorry, just needed to puke. That's disgusting. I think this is the highest point on the map, and his main gold's on it. Of course, right? That's going to be tough. He does have 2 back golds, though, which is not something that Lan had last time around. The stone is decent for Yinghua. This stone is rough for Yinghua. So it's going to be an interesting one for him. Certainly not the best map we've seen today. You look at Lan. Lan has a nice gold. He has a nice gold here. A stone is just fine. And this stone is also fine if you walls. In fact, he could wall easily here. Wall here, wall here, and wall here. And he secures a lot of his map. So the game gifting Lan some opportunities after the struggle he had last time. But I don't think this could be seen as a map win by any means. Laming, of course, can be important. And Lan is here. And he's looking to steal a pig. Lan just took 2 sheeps. Did he though? I don't see any red on the minimap. Yeah, I don't think he did. Unless that's his original goat, right? Yeah, I think he had it for a second and then Yinghua got it back. So there's zebra here, which can be pushed in later. What Yinghua needs to be careful of is sometimes the eagles will lurk around. MBL was watching the stream earlier, and MBL's known for this. So, well, he's not known for watching my stream, but he's known for laming villagers when they're bringing in boars. And it's really easy to do with eagle warriors. So Yinghua needs to keep an eye on this. And Lan is hiding in the shadows. Ooh. You know what? I think Yinghua is sending the goat out here on purpose. I think he's sending the goat out here to know if the eagle was there. Unless he's scouting for his other goats, because I think he's still down to. Oh, you know what? Whoever said that earlier in the Twitch chat was correct, I think. Yeah, there's 2 goats were stolen. It must have been really early on. So I believe he's scouting for them. But yet, Yinghua will get his pig, and Lan has stolen 2 goats, and that's going to be the end of it. It's big that he can stop his opponent from pushing in the zebras, though, because that's what you would do to make up for the goat loss. But at least Yinghua will get his pig. Okay, let's break down the civs. So the reason I find this so interesting, well, let's talk through it. So both normally will open up with man-at-arms. And let's say they both do that. Both then have fantastic archers and skirmishers to go to after that. Then you have eagle warriors for Incas. So they'll have eagles as anti-archer, but then you have Vikings who can make strong like champions or long swordsmen or berserks versus those eagles. Then on top of that, Incas in their archery range can create what's called a slinger, which is anti-infantry. So it's anytime Incas are playing, really, there's a lot of counters that make the game interesting and complex. I do think economically, though, you have to prefer Vikings because the second they're in Feudal Age, they get the free wheel upgrade. There's the barracks for Yinghua. And I wonder if land will open with a trush or if he'll just go man-at-arms into archers or eagles. Because we saw how successful the man-at-arms and towers could be last game. Land will drop off his food. Oh, he's missing some. Berries, please. Boom. He's up. And will he go to stone? Vivi is probably casting this in Chinese to his large audience right now. And he is saying, go tower. Or however you say go tower in Chinese. I can't speak Chinese. It's probably what he's doing. I know Vivi's watching. Vivi's casting this right now. I have to learn Chinese so I can cast a set of games with Vivi. What do you think, guys? Is it worth it? Is it worth the years of poor American education? I don't think so. I mean, if you could guarantee that I'd get 2 million views on that video, I would probably try. But, yeah, it's not going to happen. Vivi gets a lot of viewers. So I was told by Vivi's translator that Vivi is the most popular Chinese streamer now. So the ranking, I believe, is Vivi and then Mr. Yo. And then I want to say Paladin. Paladin is also known as Fang Xing. He's been a Chinese caster for a long time. But the thing is about about the platform that the Chinese players stream on, they've been known in the past to inflate viewer numbers. So it's really hard to know how many people are actually watching. Like normally it says 4,000 or 5,000, but there's only 10 people typing in the chat, so it's tough. Yeah, Tim was on his list that he sent me, Joe Manal, but Tim was not in the top 3. I think Tim was near 5 or 6. But there's a lot of streamers. Pretty much all the Chinese guys who play regularly stream. But yeah, I'm not going to put myself through years of language training to cast with Vivi. He'll have to learn English. He can just say, you know what, I can have Vivi as a co-caster, and anytime there's a lame, he can just yell, I know pig. I think that works. Here comes Lan with 4 men-at-arms. He's not going forward with villagers. He's following it up with an archery range. Yinghua is at home with 3 militia. They're not even men-at-arms yet. And I believe he's waiting for his opponent to come in. Yeah, he knows his opponent must be coming in. And so he's done a good job to protect himself from this. And funny enough, he hasn't found the man-at-arms. He hasn't even researched his own man-at-arms upgrade yet. And I think he will now that he sees them here. Yep, he will. But already Vikings have a lead with economy because they get the free wheelbarrow upgrade. And now Lan can research that later on, but when he does, it idles his TC while researching it. So I mean, the bonus of getting free wheel is huge because the time it would take to research wheelbarrow is the time it would take to create 3 to 4 vills. So it's a 3 to 4 vill bonus, and you get that wheelbarrow bonus, if that makes sense. So all Yinghua needs to do is be a bit patient now. He should repair the mining camp. Repair the mining... Well, I guess he might not need to. He just needs to buy himself a little bit of time. And once he has 4 men-at-arms and an archer, he can fight this. Yep. And I like the walls he's going with as well. So now Lan has really not done any damage. But he has bought himself some time. Now we haven't looked at his base yet. He's going for his own archers and an eagle or 2. Okay. So again, now he's making eagles versus Viking infantry, so he will need to use his archers to kill the infantry, otherwise the eagles will die. Really complex game of counters here. And I have to say, Yinghua's passiveness, his patience at the start, put himself in a great lead now. Has the military lead, at least for the moment, and he also has the economy lead. But okay, LaaaN has more archers now, and Yinghua needs to run. He does. And Yinghua is making some skirmishers. So now it's a matter of using your skirmishers versus LaaaN's archers, but somehow avoiding the man-at-arms and the eagles. It's really fun. It's really fun to cast this type of a matchup. LaaaN needs to be careful he doesn't get himself trapped here. Yeah, this is dangerous now. I'd like to see Yinghua gate this, or market this, or just house it. Anything to give himself a couple more seconds. Yep. Keeps the Ville alive as well. And here come the skirmishers. This could be nice. This could be real nice. Yeah, this is good for Yinghua. This is so good for Yinghua. The army's trapped. He'll kill the entire army. Nightmare start for LaaaN, especially after last game. 10 kills for Yinghua and 1 death. My goodness. That is not what he wanted. He must not have expected the skirmishers, or maybe he did and he thought they were going forward or something. It was just a poor decision to go there in the first place. When he saw the walls, he should have ran back and he should have waited for more units, more upgrades, and then taken advantage of it. But that's a gift right there. That is an absolute gift. Say hi, says T90, is there any way to see the civs they picked in round 1? I can actually tell you. So in round 1, Yinghua chose Aztecs, Chinese, Japanese, and Mayans, and LaaaN chose Aztecs, Chinese, and Mayans. So there you go. But yeah, that information can be found on AoE Zone as well, which, again, if you want all the tournament info, every single detail, you can type !KOTD2 in my chat at any time. If I could memorize all the info of this tournament, you guys would probably need to be worried about me, because there's a lot. Okay, this wall just feels like there's a hole in it. Just feels like there's a hole somewhere, you know? Wait, hold on. I need to change point of views, don't I? I think it's okay. Wait. Is there a hole here? Oh, it's so hard to tell. Well, the best way to check is to use your wall villager and click beyond. And then if there is a hole, they'll find it. I think that's what LaaaN did, so we'll just assume there's no hole there. LaaaN, after losing his military, decided against running forward, which is a smart move. And he will advance to Castle Age soon, so give the guy credit. He will advance to Castle Age faster than his opponent. Now, did he get wheel? I wasn't paying attention. Tech trees scare me, tech trees scare me, tech trees scare me. He did get wheelbarrow, okay. And then Yinghua's up behind him. Yeah, so this is my point. So when you research wheel, your TC cannot create villagers for that, for the duration of the research. And it's about the time it takes to create 4 villagers. So that's why they're both on the way to Castle Age at pretty much identical times. But Yinghua has a 4 lead. So it's kind of hard to explain without showing you, but I'm sure you guys get what I mean now. So these eagles should probably run. I don't see why they should fight here. What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, could have been worse, right? Could have been worse, but that's not a fight LaaaN wants to take. Now, he is committing to eagles and crossbows. He's going 2 barracks, 1 archer range, and now that he's walled his base is really strong. But I think what Yinghua could do is go crossbows and longswordsmen. He'll have a lot of crossbows, but crossbows will die to the eagle warriors. If there are enough eagles. That was kind of funny. The man-at-arms got trapped in there. So yeah, he'll go longswords and crossbows. Wodehouse 2132 says, T90 official, my wife is saying you have a nice voice. Question for you, Wodehouse. Is she single? Because if she is, have her give me a call, man. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. Just kidding. Glad your wife finds me attractive, but just kidding, man. Just kidding. Don't unfollow. It was a joke. You know, again, interesting game of counters, right? So, these crossbows, or they will be crossbows, can kill the long swordsman. And then if the long swordsmen are dead, then the eagles can be used versus the crossbows. So it's quite an interesting game. One thing's for sure though, Yinghua will have a stronger eco. These eagles slide in and they deny a town center. Okay, I'm not even sure how they got through there. How did they get in? Did they run through a gate? I was not expecting this to happen. That's good for land. But this is not very good for land. The left side of his base is exposed, and he needs a response to this. It's not fully walled. Oh, it's open over here. He just assumed it was. Ah. Well, nice early damage there from land then. He pushes the vills off gold. He denies the TC. So Yinghua should have had the second TC up already, but he didn't check for holes in his walls. Alright, well, this gets interesting. Keep in mind that Yinghua's army could get trapped. But at the moment, Lan, I don't know if he has enough to fight this. It really depends on how many hits the long swordsmen get on the front. That's what it comes down to. Because the eagles are upgraded. Let's see. I mean, half the time Yinghua's crossbows haven't been fighting. There's one longsword remaining, and Yinghua could be in trouble now. He's trapped. He can't leave, so this army eventually dies. It's about value now. How much value can he get out of this? How many eagles can he kill? And buy himself a little bit of time. I guess getting to the hill is best case scenario. Do a bit more damage before he dies. There are a few weak eagles here. But that could have been much better in my opinion. Or he could have just ran back, you know? Because I feel like the last thing you want to do is give the person going eagles army momentum. You don't want to give them a numbers lead. That's good for land, though. That's very good. His eco wasn't the strongest. He didn't have horsecollar earlier, so he pulled a Dave. And so his farms were weak, but, you know, delaying the TC, killing that army, two very big things for him. And while he has a slight field disadvantage, I think that the fact that he has so many eagles will mean he's smiling behind the scenes. Remember, Yinghua needs to control this gold somehow. Yinghua, oh, he's going to build a castle. He was that heavy on stone. Wow, after building the TC, he went that heavy on stone. And he's building a castle. So now we could see Castle Age Berserks. Forget Longswordsmen. We could see the Castle Age Berserks. And they could go berserk on these eagles. If the castle goes up. If the castle goes up. There's only 5 longswords. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. 70%. 75%. Villagers being attacked. 80%. 85%. Villagers still being attacked. 90%. The castle will go up. That was close. What that does is it evens out the vill count a bit. Well, thank God that Yinghua sent enough villagers. Doubt really needs to watch these games. Doubt would have sent 5. Doubt needs to watch these games. Because that's the second time today that someone has sent the appropriate amount of villagers. Sorry, Doubt. Doubt's probably out there like, I beat you in force, nothing 290. That was an awful Doubt voice, but I did my best. Well, one thing I don't like about Yinghua's position is his eco. While he has free handcart, and that's fantastic, he has enough stone for another castle, which tells me he doesn't have villagers assigned to the proper locations. Oh, is there a hole there? No! How is that a hole? Wow, this has given Yinghua so many headaches. He didn't Yinghua it, and it's open again, and the eagles run in and kill a villager. Well, where will Yinghua's next castle be is the question. I mean, I don't know if it secures anything for him, so maybe on the front. And Longswordsman will chase the eagles down. It's the elevation, guys. It's when there's elevation like this in AoE 2, it's really hard to spot the holes. Again, what you need to do is you need to send a Vil out, and if the Vil walks through the hole, then you're good. And Yinghua is now sending a villager out here to ensure that no new units run in. $800 gold, 1,100 stone. What does LaaaN do against Berserks? Now, of course, I'm just assuming that we'll see them. I think he'll go Slinger. He could go Slinger or Arbalest. It's really tough to justify making Zerks long term, I will say, if your opponent's making Slingers and Arbs, but they're very strong if you get to them. Again, Slingers are like hand cannons for Incas, and there is a Slinger in the group. The downside of Slingers is they die to enemy archers, so Yinghua could make his own archers. I mean, who really knows at this stage? I think they both need a mix. I think you need Eagles and Slingers, or Eagles and Arbs, or you need... Or sorry, and on the other side you'd need Arbalest and Berserks, or Arbalest and Champion. The issue with Slingers is they're a bit too vulnerable. So I don't even know if I'd go for them. I think I might prefer Arbalest. But nice castle for LaaaN on the hill. And already getting the relics. Okay, this is a big deal. You need to get the relics. You need to secure these extra golds that you see in the north. There's an extra gold here as well. This is going to the Imperial Age. So you need to know where those resources are. And just the fact that LaaaN has a castle means that he can start trebbing this down. But Yinghua will likely be right behind LaaaN to the Imperial Age. Actually, maybe not. His eco balance is off. This is what I was talking about when he had that much stone. I was thinking his eco was imbalanced to the point where he might be behind to Imp. He still has more wood than he would need. Yeah, I think you have to credit LaaaN for this. Because LaaaN has been such a pain in the butt in the back of his base that Yinghua hasn't been able to balance his eco. He doesn't use the farm space because he knows there's eagles there. And then Yinghua runs forward, and he runs right into an enemy castle. He has to market. He has to buy food. He has to sell wood. He has to balance this out. Yeah, this is really sloppy from Yinghua. It's not like he couldn't kill that either. Oh, a siege workshop from LaaaN here. Two of them, in fact. This one will be denied, I think. It's an Inca Vil, so you never know. Yeah, it's denied. 97.1%. And okay, the Eagles die. But for the love of God, Yinghua, you have more villagers. Click up to the Imperial Age, man. He's doing alright with these fights. He's killing Slingers, he's killing Arbs, he killed the Eagles in the back, but my goodness, click Imp. There we go. And now his farms are expiring. I genuinely feel like he was just taken back by the raids. But he has 2 castles. He has 2 castles. So maybe he'll be okay. LaaaN is going for Arbalest. He's going for Arbalest. He's getting Ballistics now. He's getting Bracer. And he has not started making Trebuchets, which he might regret. And then, okay, Yinghua's getting Chainmail Armor. So he's thinking his opponent will go Eagles. So he's thinking about going Berserks. Look how tanky the Inca Vils are, man. He only lost 1 to that. Interesting game. Interesting game. It's tied up 1-1. This has been a great series. Okay, now Yinghua realizes his opponent is going for Arbs. And Yinghua should probably mix in skirmishers. Interesting to me, I guess it's champion instead of berserk. Well, regular... If you go with regular berserks and Imperial Age upgrades, they are worse than champions with Imperial Age upgrades. So perhaps that Yinghua saw a risk going for castle units. Both have siege ram. I see chat talking about it. Both have siege ram. Both have good archers. At this stage, the economy still, you'd favor Yinghua, but that's only because of the Vil count. Even game. Even game. But LaaaN is going to struggle if he doesn't kill these castles, because I don't see how he can push them. Yinghua knows the castle's there, so Yinghua will probably make trebuchets, and LaaaN hasn't made any trebs of his own. Oh, he's ramming on this side. He wants to go into the eco. And he's also trying to wall this up, which is an interesting decision at this stage of the game. Yeah, I don't see that being the play here. Well, oh, LaaaN killed all the crossbows. Yinghua didn't keep them alive, so he tracked them down. Maybe it is the play once his Arbalest arrived to help. For now, though, Yinghua is researching two-handed swordsman, getting thumb ring, and he's holding on 150 pot for both. Well, what's... I never know what to do with Incas, honestly. So the thing with Incas is I feel like they have this huge drop-off. But these civs are so similar because they both cap out at Onager, they both have siege ram, they both have good archer units. So perhaps, you know, going heavy into archers and slingers is the play here for LaaaN. And then the infantry investment for Yinghua is just a mistake. But at the same time, I think if Yinghua gets enough of them, it can play out against the Rams. Who knows now? What I do know is Yinghua is making the trebuchet, so he'll go for this castle soon. That's something that LaaaN has not done. But what LaaaN is doing is securing the northern corner where he sees the gold and he sees the stone. That's something both players have seen as well, so Yinghua will go out there later and be denied. And now the champion upgrade is on the way. And as of now, I'm not sure how that can do much for Yinghua. It really works out if your opponent's making skirms. But against this army, yeah, it doesn't do much. And LaaaN is in. LaaaN has 190 population, 150 population for Yinghua. But LaaaN is losing a castle and he has his crucial gold on the front. My goodness, this is awesome. Kameyuk Skirmishers beats this Viking army. Yeah, but you can never go Kameyuk here. If you try and transition to Kameyuk, you just get overrun. So I think this is the better play. He doesn't have the resources for it. If it was a team game, it's a bit different because you can rely on trade, but in 1v1s, you'll be pressured at all times. And also, you, of course, build a castle. Or you need a castle built for Kameyuks, and down goes the castle here. So, wow. I guess Yinghua doesn't care about these Arbalests in the back of his base. He hasn't done anything against them yet. He hasn't even sent skirmishers. And Yinghua's sending his military forward. I don't think he's in a good spot to fight this one. Like, it's good he killed the castle. It's good he denied the gold. But with the amount of arbs, skirms, and slick... Oh, God! I'm sorry. That scared me. It's supposed to be... Oh my God, baby shark, man. I turned it down for you. It's still really loud for me. The mouse flung from my hand. Almost fell off my desk. Oh, jeez. Thank you, Purple People Eater. He said, content good, personality questionable. Dude, I don't know how I feel about that, but thank you so much for the 150. That scared the crap out of me. I gotta get back to the game. I'll thank you more after this, because this game is insane. And I think LaaaN's army could be trapped back here. And meanwhile, on the hill, Yinghua's kind of holding. It's hard to say. He seems to be sending his trebs back, which is not something he did in game 1. And LaaaN is looking to get some good value out of this army, which is definitely trapped in here. And he finds a good choke point. Now, keep in mind, LaaaN, he has one relic and he has the northern corner where the gold is. He was also trying to tower here when Baby Shark was playing. And that's denied, so that won't happen. Cheeky little tower, though. My goodness, what a game. It's just that LaaaN has 30 more vills. But keep in mind, if you don't need those villagers, you're better off having that the pop space for military, right? And that military just gets chewed up, man. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good decision from LaaaN to run in there. I think the center is going to decide this one. They have full skirmisher from Yinghua versus slingers, skirmishers, and arbs. So there are gold units in the mix for LaaaN. This is risky play. But LaaaN does have siege ram, and the rams will soak up the fire from the skirmishers. here come champions to the north, knowing the gold is there, and Yinghua will run into the castle fire. So those champions will die. So at the moment, it kind of evens out with the gold because LaaaN doesn't have this one. But in long term, if LaaaN is able to get this back, then he'll certainly have more gold, especially with the relics, right? He has 2 already. And LaaaN is going for his own longswords upgrade. This is much better than Eagles. Going Eagles could be suicide against enemy champions. So going for your own champions is a great possibility, a great play, and I think the correct move. And now LaaaN has the hill. LaaaN was first to siege ram. He'll kill the archery ranges. Yinghua's in trouble. LaaaN, the player who 3-0'd Tim and shocked the world, is now up against Yinghua, who also shocked the world, beating Doubt in round 1. Of course, whoever wins this is not out. This is a best of 5, but the games have been amazing. Game 1 in this game especially have been really, really good. And again, I'm impressed with LaaaN because at the start of Feudal Age, he just got destroyed. He lost 10 units and killed 1. It was not good. A two-handed swordsman on the way. And now you see capped ram on the way for Yinghua, so he realizes how important it is to have siege ram. Yeah, the champions are killing the rams, but the champions are dying to all the slingers. So I think LaaaN comes out on top there. And LaaaN is starting to raid with the two-handed swordsman. And look at this castle! Look at this castle on the right. He knows there's golden stone here. And I saw the barracks there a moment ago. He immediately started production. LaaaN is playing out of his mind. This is crazy play from him. And at the same time he's defending in the north, he also shot a camel, which is hard to see. But I won't make the camel noise now. That's not necessary. I think if LaaaN holds the center and pushes in the north and the, I guess the south, he could do this. He's maintaining a 30 population lead. And here come the trebs from Yinghua, though. And he's been keeping these safe. And who knows, maybe the castle just gets trebbed right back down. Kind of looks like that could happen. Sweet games, man. Sweet games. By now, LaaaN has definitely benefited from having this northern corner. He'll need to hold it. And this castle, it excited me. I was thinking, oh, this is a great castle. This is great because there's stone and gold here. But if you don't have army to secure it, it's not a great castle. And LaaaN probably forgot that Yinghua had those trebuchets, and the castle will go right back down. Now, the center is interesting. LaaaN is avoiding that for now, and he's sending his skirmishers and his slingers around. And he's repairing the castle, so he feels like he could keep this up, but he'd need to go now, because he doesn't have near enough repair vills. Yeah, I think the castle, by the time he arrives, I think the castle's dead. Oh, and LaaaN could lose his castle in the north. Luckily, he has Inca villagers, and they benefit from blacksmith upgrades, so he'll kill the rams pretty quickly. And his vills will survive, but I don't think they'll be able to keep the castle up. So LaaaN goes from 3 castles to 2 castles, and it could be 1 castle in a moment, if he's not careful. So Yinghua gets the gold back. Guys, as a reminder, Yinghua has 0 relics. It is 3 for LaaaN. LaaaN could grab this one. And I don't know where the other one is, actually. It might be in a monk's hands. So maybe it's on the way back. We'll keep an eye on the overlay. Oh, no, it's right there. I saw that earlier, too. Yeah, it's right behind the monastery. So that should be Yinghua's if he snags it. Oh, LaaaN wants to shift towards the castles. I felt like if he kills these castles, he wins the game. Does he have enough to secure the trebs there? Don't think so. Do not think so. I guess the slingers are on the way. The slingers are here to help, but the trebuchets are going to go down, and that was a waste of res. So he lost the stone here. He lost the trebs in the center. He did keep his castle up in the north. And there's a few Kameyuks. Someone wanted to see Kameyuks. Fully upgraded Kameyuks with couriers do very, very well, but it's too expensive, especially with the lack of castles. But I don't think LaaaN will be too concerned about losing the trebuchets. He's holding this side just with military. 80 military versus 30 from Yinghua. So LaaaN could send more trebs out with the relic gold he has. He can deny the gold and the relic that his opponent has available here. And it's all LaaaN. And this brings me back to game 1, where the game was close, but LaaaN, he ended up out-popping his opponent. I guess in that game, there were a few relics for Yinghua as well, right? Yinghua doesn't have the like, what can he make against this, right? He'd have to make 50 skirms. He'd need his own skirms. Not champions, he'd need skirms. Because that's his only answer here. And he doesn't have them. He doesn't have the food or the wood for it either. He's trying to produce out of his 3 archery ranges. One of them is on fire. If this continues, I think LaaaN can take the game. Well, you could try Onager, but he doesn't have resources for it, right? So he has to wait for that to come in, and then it's a pretty big risk. So if he would have gone Onager instead of champions earlier, maybe at this point, he definitely cannot afford Onager. He needs skirmishers, because you need skirms for the slingers, and then you need skirms for the skirms, honestly, or you just send your champs in. Christ AoE, who, if he's the guy I think he is a good AoE player, says LaaaN has been training in post-imp. Yeah, it seems like it. This guy's all over the map. Look at his late game. Look at his scouting. He's hitting the wood line here. There's a few gaps, but the gaps don't really matter. This is incredible, man. This is incredible. And he was like this in the other game as well. He was behind and he somehow came back. Like, that's what I'm seeing. In game 1, LaaaN was behind and came back. In this game, he was behind and he came back. In game 2, he just died. But to be able to hold when you're behind and find a way to come back normally means... Well, when players are doing that in sets, it's normally the better player, right? Because now Yinghua has fallen behind, and he has to attempt to find a way back. It is possible, guys. It is possible. He just killed the 2 trebs. These trebs are being stubborn for him. Went into a treb war and killed a bunch there. And I think he wants to push the north with siege rams as well. This is getting interesting, but what he needs is more military. He's only at 50 military versus the 80 military of LaaaN. And LaaaN has 4 relics, guys. He has 4 relics. And he has an eye on that 5th as well. Just seems to me like Yinghua isn't in a position to push. If he pushes the north, then LaaaN will immediately kill his castles. So he's just waiting to pop up a bit. I wanna see him snag that relic. You know? Just send a monk in and go for it. Because I would do it. I mean, the monk's not doing anything else, right? Obviously, he's doing a million other things, but I would really like to see that. Well, what Yinghua wants is the north. And he can win the north with this army. There will be potentially negative consequences to this, though, if he goes for it. And LaaaN, he must realize, I think he saw the army go this direction. And LaaaN's scared of this. LaaaN does not want to give this up. He's already started walls on his castle. He's sent out his own rams. And maybe this is the way back for Yinghua, starting the momentum into his favor. There's also a monastery here. There's 2 relics inside the monastery. So he'll lose the relics. And maybe Yinghua can snag them. And siege rams are so strong, they can still kill the castle. Can Yinghua continue with the army production here? Because he's running very low on gold. He needs to keep his skirm numbers up. Oh, wow. Yinghua runs back for a second because he sees the slingers and skirms. And I think now LaaaN keeps the castle up. And the monastery's up as well. Yeah, he's going to keep it up. Oh my goodness, what a hold from LaaaN. He had just enough here. He noticed the army was coming this way. He arrived at the perfect time. He's also pushing in a bit on this side. What's LaaaN going to build? A tower? A castle! A castle! He's going to build a castle here. My goodness. And he could get the relic too. So now it's 90 military versus 40 again. And this is looking worse and worse for Yinghua. Yinghua lost his trebs to the Rams from LaaaN. He lost his trebs there. He won't lose the castle, of course. But he cannot afford to lose many more gold units. Been very impressed with LaaaN in this series. And I've been a bit surprised as well just because of how he performed in the AoE 2 World Cup. He did not look himself, but perhaps after that, that was his wake-up call. And he realized, okay, if I train, I can improve a lot of things, and he's definitely done that here, man. But it's not over for Yinghua, right? He's just unable to find a way back into this game, and it does feel like it's just a matter of time unless he switches it up somehow. And he tried to go for the north. If he would have cleaned this up, what would have happened is he would have got the gold, the relics, and then LaaaN would have been chasing him instead. And then Yinghua would have been dictating the fights. But because LaaaN still has more military numbers, Yinghua is just responding. And sure, he'll kill this castle, but now he needs to respond on this side. And I think now what LaaaN needs is siege rams on the side. And there's not much that Yinghua can do. Siege rams, a few of your own champions. Maybe could justify going eagles at this point because Yinghua doesn't have a lot of champs out. Probably not though. Just kill the buildings, deny the wood lines. It's obvious that Yinghua needs the wood. He's chopping here, here, and here. Or at least he was. And I was about to say Yinghua's not in a position to raid. But he is. But what's funny is it's Inca vills, so the vills benefit from the blacksmith upgrades. So these things are not dying. It's near impossible to raid Incas. I think what we are witnessing is the pop spike from Yinghua after losing his villagers. So remember he was at around 200 pop, but he had more villagers. Well, he's lost a ton. And so I think his pop spiked up because he got the pop space. And now when his military dies, he won't have as many resources in the bank to make more. And this does happen. Imagine if LaaaN wasn't Incas. He would have lost most of these vills already. But because he's Incas, those vills survive. It's crazy. Oh! Oh, look at this! LaaaN's gonna grab the relic! Well, he failed with it, but he went for it. That's what I wanted to see. Well played, man. Or well played, LaaaN. Not well played, man. Slinger's a bit vulnerable on this side because of the amount of skirmishers Yinghua has. You just need the rams in front and then you're fine. Rams in front, a few of your own champs, yep. Then you're just fine. Relic win will not be enabled, no, but obviously having 5 relics is a pretty big deal. I wonder if LaaaN, let's say Incas didn't have slingers, I wonder if LaaaN would have won this game. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that, would be winning this game. I think so. I mean, he could just have Arbalests instead of the slingers, right? It's not like he used them in Castle Age. It's a nice move, but the rams are the most important things here because the skirmishers, the slingers, they can't kill the rams, so you need a meat shield of some kind. 80 military for LaaaN and 40 for Yinghua. And here come the trebuchets, rams, and slingers from this side as well. I don't think Yinghua can keep up with this. LaaaN just has so much. His post-imp has been so good. So there's the GG. Yinghua calls it. He goes down to 120 population. My goodness, when this guy gets to post-imp, he's insane. I have to ask because Heisenberg... Or not Heisenberg, I just was reading Heisenberg's message in the chat. Christ AoE is a DM player, I believe. Christ, if you're still in the chat, was LaaaN training deathmatch or what? And sorry if I assumed your gender being a deathmatch player. I assume you're deathmatch. I'm just curious how he's been training because I've never seen him play post-imp like this. It's looked really good today. 658 kills for LaaaN. Remember, he had 1 kill and 10 deaths at the start of Feudal, and he didn't have Viking economy, and he won this game. He got the relics, he got the extra gold, and he got the army momentum. Sick play. 99% of the map scouted. And he had that scouting in real early as well. Okay, so I guess Christ is no longer there to give me that input, but impressive stuff. And that means LaaaN can win this best of 5 in the next game. The civilizations they have remaining are right here for us, guys. So LaaaN won with Incas, and Yinghua lost with Vikings. So we have Indians and Malians, and then we have Franks and Spanish. Christ says check his Woobly profile. Okay, I'll have to do that then. Yeah, it must be DM. Like, if you know, it has to be DM, right? I'm going to look at his profile right now. It's interesting that he would focus on deathmatch. Oh yeah, he's been playing a ton of deathmatch games. Well, I find that really cool, actually. He played quite a few deathmatch games. It definitely is telling. It definitely shows. Well, I think that Yinghua... Well, he obviously has to win, right? I think you have to go Spanish here, because the issue with Franks now is your opponent has 2 civs that can make camels. LaaaN has Indians and Malians. So, sure, Franks are strong, and Yinghua can choose them and possibly win, but it gets real difficult against Malians and Indians. Whereas Spanish, I think... if you have a strong map and a strong tower rush in the Conquistadors, you can beat any civ. So perhaps you go for that and then hope you can win it in game 5 with Franks. So that would be my guess, that Yinghua goes Spanish. And if that's the case, then probably I would go Malians in LAAN's position. But then you have to consider, if you think you're going to win the best of 5, you might not want to use certain civs, because whatever civs you play in round 2, you can't use in round 3. I don't know. It's complicated. They just need to worry about winning each and every game. I think we'll see Malian Spanish. Brew Crew, thank you for the 23-month resub. Macau, thank you for the Prime. Chat, I know there's many people here. I know many of you guys are just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the show. That's cool. But if you're able, if you could just type a heart or some T90 love in the chat for Purple People Eater. I'm sure many of you probably hate the guy because he blew out your eardrums with the alert, but... thank you for that donation, man. That was $150. He also insulted my personality. He didn't say it was bad, though. He said it was questionable. So I'm going to aim to prove him wrong, okay? I'm going to aim to prove him wrong here. Thank you, Cooper Duh. Thank you, everyone. I know I missed some names, but the games are back-to-back today. And wow, was I wrong. We have Indians versus Franks. I thought for sure it'd be Malian Spanish, but no, it's Indians versus Franks. All right. So LAAN, who's up 2-1, he is playing as the Indians in the red. And then we have Yinghua is playing as the Franks in the blue. If Yinghua loses this game, he loses the best of 5. Reminder, winner of this best of 5 faces Fat Dragon in the next round. So they were disadvantaged going into round 1. Where they both won. LAAN beat Tim, who was 10th seed, I believe. Doubt was 6th seed and got beat by Yinghua. And it wasn't like they were close either. Yinghua won 3-1 versus Doubt, and LAAN won 3-0 versus Tim. So I'm really looking forward to seeing whoever wins this set versus Vivi as the obvious underdog, because Vivi's one of the favorites for the tournament, right? But I talked about it before. Franks, they have many bonuses, but in Castle Age, they tend to go for knights. And against Indians, that can be very, very complicated, because Indians have incredible camels. So here's just a thought on how I think you should play this if you're in Yinghua's shoes. If you have 2 options, I think. You can go completely against the meta, and you can go forward with towers, maybe man-at-arms and towers. Or you can play with scouts, which I think he will do, and I think LAAN will do. And you can try and win the scout engagements in Feudal Age, and then make a ton of spears going to castle. Because if your opponent's expecting you to make knights, and they make camels, you could maybe go with pikemen, and counter that, or at least play defensively. LAAN's base is not the best base in the world. His main gold is exposed. His secondary gold's on the right. I don't love it. He does have a gold in the back and a stone on the back, and he is pushable zebra, so he can get more food. And speaking of food, I'm hungry, man. I can't wait for dinner tonight. I have a whole nother set to cast after this. I want to get some Thai food, I think. tonight. We'll see. Too many people have been talking about pizza in the Twitch chat as well. It's really been hurting me. Oh, LaaaaaN goes to attack the Ville, and I don't like the move, honestly. Because now he just has a weak scout. He didn't kill a villager. But a sign that he is here, Yinghua will chase him down. Say Too High says, but doesn't that make Franks passive and slow? Usually they want to play aggressive and mobile. You're right, but here you have to make it slow. So that you could play pikes and monks possibly, like not a lot of monks, but you could make maybe 10 to 12 pikemen on the way to Castle Age, build a forward monastery. Fact of the matter is you can't. Indians are also very mobile, and Indians have better options if you're going for a stable unit. So you can't play into that. Obviously, versus many other civs, they would want to keep their mobility, which you're correct on. But I think they'll both start with scouts. And the thing about Franks is they have 3 bonuses which apply versus scouts. 1, their scouts have extra HP in Feudal Age. Well, Dark Age and Feudal Age. 2, their farm upgrades are free. So that helps them with creating farms to make the scouts. And then the other one is that they're... Wait, there's another one. Oh yeah, they forage. They forage faster, which gives them more food. But Indians, the benefit of being Indians is not only that they have amazing scouts into camels, but they also have the cheap villagers, so they can advance to Feudal Age pretty quickly. And both will do that now. And this will be Scout v Scout, guys. Barry Lim says, when is Leary vs. Feliz? The games are scheduled to begin, I believe, as we speak. And it's really down to the players. If the players are available, they're going to wait. And then we'll cast the set afterwards live. What might happen is they'll play the games and no one will cast it. And then once we finish this best of 5, we'll just go immediately into the recorded games and catch on up. So that's the status on the Leary vs. Feliz games, which will also be today. Okay, so this comes down to how mobile you can be, how aggressive you can be with the scouts. Again, I think Franks have that advantage at the start here. So maybe make a few extra scouts of your Franks to do damage. But keep in mind that once it's Castle Age v Castle Age, Indians should have the advantage. They have the cheaper villagers, which is a huge deal. And so they can boom and create camels, and then they have the camels. The issue with playing into Pike, as I said, is you have to make sure it disrupts your opponent. So perhaps if you wall and play into Pikes, it's good. So you wall here, and then you wall on the left, and it completely denies land from avoiding you, because he can't even counter. We'll see. I'm really curious to see what he'll do. I really pride myself on knowing the meta, and knowing what you should do in each situation. That's one of my selling points, so I'm curious to see what Yinghua will do here, and what LaaaN will do. And if LaaaN expects his opponent will go heavy into Pikes, he should do the same himself. He should just make his own Pikes. But okay. LaaaN's base is all secure now. His gold's on the front, but who needs that? You have this gold, that's fine. And it's about how many scouts can you create? Are you creating villagers at all times? How many farms are you creating? It's just build orders right now. And if I'm LaaaN, I'm a bit more hesitant to run out because I know my opponent's scouts are going to have more HP. So it'll be 54 HP versus 45 HP. Hey T90, is it kind of blowing your mind that there are near 4,000 people watching King of the Desert right now? No, man. I think those numbers are kind of weak, honestly. Like, I feel like we could hit higher numbers as a community with this tournament. And I think we will. I think we will. I mean, heck, with Hidden Cup, I had 6,000, right? So 4,000? Those are rookie numbers, man. Those are rookie numbers. I'd like to see the King of the Desert semifinals and finals as a whole, like across the whole tournament, across the whole community, right? Because obviously there are other streamers. For the finals, reach 10,000. That would be a solid number to reach for. But I mean, obviously it is blowing my mind that 2 years ago I was streaming in front of maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred, and on a regular basis I'm getting over 2,000 now. So Living the dream right now, man. Yeah, it's round 2. It's round 2. I think that if I were to set goals for the King of the Desert semis and finals, I would hope to get 4K minimum, and I would hope to get, well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's pretty awesome to be in 2019 now and have the amount of viewers that are here. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, LaaaN is just defending himself because he's not full walled. He goes in, started that engagement's good, staying in that engagement's bad, and yep, he backs out. And he'll build his blacksmith there, and this is his only open area. Meanwhile, LaaaN's not making many more scouts. I think they'll just go up to Castle Age. So again, the question is, what do you do in Yinghua's shoes? I think you can try and go Knights and just boom, because he has a lot of his base walled in. So you can try and do that. Honestly, yeah, I think it might be the better move, because what are spears going to do against your opponent? Nothing. LaaaN must expect something, though, because he's built an archery range and he's hid that. Perhaps if there was something more exposed for LaaaN, then you could go into pikes instead of knights. As always, it depends. It depends. T90 official, I think variety in maps pulls in a lot of viewers. There's not much variety here, hence the strats are pretty normal. No, I disagree. Arabia is the most competitive map Age of Empires 2 provides. There's a lot of money on the line, and we have the best players in the world. So it's just the fact that we're not casting one of the Secret or Aftermath players. And also it's early stages of a tournament. As the tournament goes on, more and more people are aware it's happening. More and more people show up to the stream. So normally for me, at least, because others don't have large YouTube audiences, at least for me, I normally start casting an event, and about 2 to 3 weeks in, people realize an event's happening, and they think, oh, I really want to stop by and see the rest of it. So normally tournaments, they go up over time. I'm not upset with 2K6, but this is the guy, like, I'm the type of guy who, when something good is happening, I always find something that I can improve in it. That's just who I am as a person. So, like, I wasn't dissing a tournament. I wasn't dissing the community. But I'm the type of guy who feels like there's always room for improvement, man. After my 24-hour stream, which I'm sure most of you know was hugely successful, and with revenue and content and subs, all that stuff, it was really good, right? It was the most successful, crazy stream I've ever had. After that, I immediately sat down, reviewed it, and thought, okay, what can I do better next time? That's just what I do. And sometimes it's not a good mindset to have, but it's what I do, man. Okay, so LaaaN will go with a few crossbows and not many spears from Yinghua. So I guess, I mean, the reasoning for the crossbow is probably because he expected the spears, as I mentioned. And he might not even upgrade them much beyond this, and he'll stick with camels. What you can do better. Stop talking about yourself and go back to the game. Thank you. Thank you, man. Well, Yinghua needs to be careful here. This surprises him. It's just archers, but they can stop that villager. They have fletching. Oh, this is so good for LaaaN. This is so good, because this should never happen. This should never happen in a million years. He's making use of 4 archers and 4 scouts to delay his opponent. This is so good. And even if he doesn't kill anything, which he will, or should, he's getting all the map control now because his camels are incoming. Look at this. He opens up the walls. The camels are coming in now. It's pretty crazy. You know, I think the better move for LaaaN would have actually been to run, though, instead of fight. Like, even here, I don't necessarily think he should fight that one. But imagine if he ran the scouts and the archers past to the woodline. That could have been so good. Yeah, but now it's... Alright, it's even, right? Well, camels. They have bloodlines. They have just 1 defense upgrade. That's going to be enough for now. It is 3 TCs immediately for Yinghua. This one will probably go imp, guys. This one will probably go imp because they will make camels and knights. They will try and collect relics and they will boom. Yep. So it will be 3 TCs in a second for land as well. So remember I mentioned, well, I mention it all the time, scouting the other areas of the map. Well, that's what you have to do here. So there's a neutral gold, which land sees. He sees his gold. He sees his gold. He can look for relics. This is the time to start doing that. Beating your opponent to that is a huge, huge deal. T90 official, camel versus knight. Which is stronger in what phase? Yes, so very good point from Lestafante in the Twitch chat. This is the way I think this will play out. So we'll see camels and knights right now for their mobility. But it is risky to go for cavalier if you're in Yinghua's position. So more than likely what he'll do is he'll go into halberdier in the next stage. So probably halberdier and hand cannon. And that's something that Lan won't want to fight in his shoes. He won't want to go heavy camel. And then I believe he will shift into his own halberdier and hand cannon and perhaps skirmisher. Then, of course, you could raid with light cav and hussar on the flanks. So you have those differences, but yeah, I believe they will shift. But it's really hard to judge how much you create, because if you create too few knights or too few camels, then you give your opponent full map control. But if you create too many that you don't need, then your opponent hits imp before you. So it's a hard balance, and I like this from Lan. I'm not sure I like this from Lan. I'm not sure what the Siege Workshop gives him. But what I like is that he's looking to take advantage of the map control that he has right now. Yeah, Amon says Indian hand cannon will beat Frank hand cannon. Indeed, they will if you have the unique tech. But there's many factors, right? There's many factors. That's just what I would expect here. We could see Cavalier versus Heavy Camel because of the mobility, but normally you shift. So Persians, you would shift to Halberdier Hand Cannon here. You see a lot from Teutons as well. And, oh, there's 4 monks for Yinghua. And what is happening here? Oh, he's getting so many conversions. Wow. Oh my god, and lands pathing on his camels. He just sent them to their death. My goodness. That was so bad. Not only did he lose his units to conversions, not only did Yinghua keep his monks alive to heal, but then they pathed right through the army and gave Yinghua a bunch of free shots. And then right after that, to make matters worse, Yinghua runs in and kills the monks and then just runs right back. And now I think what Yinghua will do is build up towards a castle and start castling the important areas of the map, including this hill with the golden stone, and including this hill, I think, where the golds are here. Just imagine a castle on the top of this hill, a castle here, and a castle here. He would be untouchable. He would not be raidable at all. And now what does Lan do is the question, right? Because he would need to create more camels, which is a huge risk because the monks are out. And both players trading a few conversions. So really not a good matchup for Franks. So playing standard, if you're just trying to boom versus the Indians, it's risky. And I think we're seeing why that's not a good move now. Okay, a few monks go down for Yinghua, sure, but he still has more knights and more camels. He has the same amount of camels, or close to it. Yeah, man. See, it's easy to say now, of course, but this is why I think Frank should play into Pike in Castle Age. Because you're playing into knights, it's tough. But then again, Lan could have made monks, you know, he could, instead of making 1, he could have made 5 and got the same amount of conversions, and maybe it would have been even. Like, it's just funny. Yinghua should be at a disadvantage, and he's ahead, you know? Like, he didn't have to play into Pike. It's crazy. And I think now this is where Franks start to have some good things going for them with the extra castles. Yeah, the Siege Workshop was a waste, right? Don't understand that, and he undermade the camels. Still, though, he's Indians. Still, he has all 3 of his normal golds in safe places. But let's look at the eco now. Oh, wow. Yinghua will probably imp faster. And here comes the pike switch. I like it. So 25 military versus 10. LaaaN will build a castle. There's no way he can push this back in castle age. I think he needs to rely on a faster imp. Yinghua, he can't castle close to this one, obviously. So I think he should take the hill either here or here. He's definitely thinking about a castle. But he'll find out in a second that it needs to be, yeah, somewhere else. Nope, that's not, don't do it, please, Yinghua, this could be trouble. 3 conversions for LaaaN. Or it should be anyway. Yep, he got a few conversions. And okay, the castle goes up on the hill. This is still a good fight for Yinghua. Still a good fight. And you know what? He can get the relic too. Isn't that something? He can snag the relic. It's totally worth it to snag the relic. Wait, where are you going, monk? You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. The church is this way. The church is this way. Well, who knows? But hopefully he will find home. LaaaN is about to click imp, but there's 3 battering rams here. And he doesn't have a response to the battering rams. Oh my goodness, he could lose his before imp at this rate. He's behind in vills. He built a castle that he will probably lose now unless he, I guess, fights with villagers. He has no other choice. Oh, geez, this is bad. This is really bad. He can't be fighting with vills here. And Yinghua will be up right behind him. I think Yinghua actually needed the castle to click up. Wow. I think game 5 is incoming, guys. I think this will go to 5 games, the way this is playing out. Again, Yinghua, he'll kill LaaaN's castle, which means LaaaN can't get his unique tech for his hand cannons. So the hand cannons will be identical in strength, if they go there. A castle will soon go up here for Yinghua, I'm sure of it. He'll definitely castle that. And then he could castle here as well. He's untouchable. He's making pikemen. He's making rams. He's even making some axemen. LaaaN has to go gunpowder. And he's making the ranges now. But here's the thing. He can get to gunpowder, but only after chemistry completes. He has to wait for this university to research chemistry before he can make any military to defend himself. And his main gold is here, which he cannot defend. This is just trouble. You need to have, if you're both switching into pikemen and gunpowder, which I think they will, you need to have some map control. And that's what it came down to. And the Frank castles will help. Yinghua will build another one. There's nothing LaaaN can do about that. This game's over. This game's over. Also, I hear the second relic being collected by Yinghua. Something he didn't do in the previous games was get the relics early. He's doing that here. And while LaaaN has a castle here, well, I guess he could treb, right? But still has very little control over his golds. He's gonna try. If there's any civ that can hold on and come back here, it's Indians, because their villagers are cheap, so they can reboom. But I'm not confident that he can do that. Not with how much map control he's lost. So LaaaN will be imp. He will likely go immediately for trebs. There's 2 trebuchets. He's researching halberdier. No university for him. No university. I thought he'd go immediately for chemistry. I guess, you know what, you could go cavalier now because your opponent doesn't have pikes. Like, nothing's stopping you from doing that. You could just go right into cavalier. Like, why not, right? The only reason that you would go into hand cannons is because your opponent would have halbs. And that's not the case. Yeah, LaaaN, he can't deal with this. He's just now making gunpowder. This is bad. This is bad. This is where commentators normally try and find something positive. I can't find anything positive about this situation. His ranges are going to go down. His castle's going to go down. And he's just dead. He's dead. He wants to try because he knows that if he wins this game, he wins the best of 5. But we're going to game 5, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to game 5. And this is normally a matchup where Indians would win. But the way Yinghua played this was so good. He got those conversions. He took control of the hill in the center, switched into pikemen immediately, and went with the forward castles. And Cavalier's now on the way for Yinghua. So he'll lose his knights, he'll lose his halbs here, but with the amount of control he has, this game is obviously over. 2 relics as well. He didn't need the castles I spoke of defensively because of how much control he has. 3rd relic on the way in. And I think both players lose their castle. Yep, both players will lose their castle. And it matters a lot more to LaaaN, because Yinghua has plenty of stone, and he's just taking the gold that LaaaN should be taking himself. Yeah, I do think it came down to the conversions, really. It came down to the conversions, and also the fact that in that fight, Yinghua had 2 monks healing. So what you don't realize is how big the healing can be in those fights. But yeah, it was the conversions and the fact that the monks were healing. And LaaaN had 1 monk, and it was 4 or 5 for Yinghua, right? And now Yinghua, he knows he's going to win this game. He's getting Paladin. And if nothing else, that would just be a sign of dominance, right? Well, LaaaN needs to get his head right, because you can easily be frustrated in this situation. It was definitely a bit of a throw from him, right? But he needs to have the mental strength to say, listen, forget about that game. We're going to game 5, and I have a chance to win the best of 5. What happened in the previous game doesn't matter. It will be Malians for LaaaN. It will be Spanish for Yinghua. So, as the bombard cannon goes down, there's the GG. I assume we will see a trush. I assume we will see a tower rush from Yinghua in hopes to get to Conquistadors later on in the game. What a set, guys. What a set. Again, both the players who provided upsets in round 1 are now here in rounds 2, and it's been very, very close. Quick look at the achievements. Quick look at the achievements. I think this one was pretty simple. Yinghua with more units killed, but economically speaking was way ahead. Map control was obviously way ahead. And game 5 will be Spanish versus Malians, and I will go immediately into Leary versus Valise after. As far as I know, they haven't even started, so they're waiting for these games to complete. Awesome. So, as you guys know, I've been casting all day. I've been casting since 8 a.m. my time, very little breaks. It's been 5.5 hours. I'm going to step away for just 30 seconds and use the bathroom. Then I'll get back to you guys, and thank you all for the subs, resubs, and just for showing up today. Next match is going to start. I got to run. I won't play any music because I don't want it to mute the YouTube video. So Twitch chat, just entertain YouTube for me, okay? All right, I'm back. Excellent, excellent entertainment value from the Twitch chat. I I never doubted you guys. I never doubted you guys. All right, here we are. Here we are. LaaaaaN versus Yinghua, game 5. This is a best of 5 set. In rounds 2, winner faces the Fat Dragon sometime this week. Not sure when. Not sure when exactly, as obviously we don't have the winner to schedule. LaaaaaN is in the red. He does not have a restart, and he has an awful base. No! This is so bad. Oh my god, look at his golds. Oh, this is going to be so bad versus Spanish. This is disastrous, man. And he complained about the map earlier, right? He complained about the map earlier because he had 3 forward golds as well. And he can't call a re. So he has main gold, second and third all forward. He does have 1 stone on the back and a little bit of wood. But my goodness, he has 1 wood line really. Maybe 2 if you count this one. His gold's in the center of the map, guys. This is one of the worst maps you'll see. Then you look at Yinghua, and all Yinghua really needs is a wallable base with stone. And you know what? His stone's not great, but he could easily take this. I'm assuming we'll see Tower Rush. I could be wrong. But yeah, he has better map, 2 wood lines. He has a better main gold. He has a better second gold. His third gold's a bit suspect, but I'm sure he won't be complaining. Now, LaaaaaN, I don't know if he's religious, but at this point he's probably praying, "Dear God, please make Yinghua lose a villager so he calls a restart." So they can play this on a different map. That's what I would be doing. Or you could run out and try and lame. And we already saw that attempt from Yinghua. He tried to steal the pig. I see I know pig officials in the chat. And the laming was unsuccessful. This is interesting. I wonder if Yinghua knows his pig is there. Okay, he knows now. So that's a pretty bad pig location, in all honesty. Definitely lameable. Oh, does LaaaaaN notice that? Does LaaaaaN notice that? Get your I know pigs in the chat to give LaaaaaN some energy here. Let's see. Does he see it? Because it just walked back into his line of sight. If he tries to steal it, of course, Yinghua could just block him. So it might be too risky to steal it, but it's just a thought. LaaaAN's getting loom. And why is he getting loom? I don't know why he's getting loom. Oh no! Oh, I thought he was going to lose a vill. Well, normally if you see loom that early, it's because he thinks he's going to lose a vill. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just checking the map here. See what else is around. Oh, is he housed? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He might have been housed. Let's see if the Tower Rush will come in from Yinghua. He has 4 on wood. So it could be man-at-arms and towers. The reason you go towers with Spanish is because all their buildings build 30% faster. And also they have an amazing unique unit in the Conquistador you can use in Castle Age. So you start off with the Tower Rush, save the stone to Castle Age, and then make the castle. That's how it works. Now, he wasn't sitting on 33 food because he had 2 vills queued up in his TC when he researched loom, so that's all right. I mean, he's fine, right? He has his pig. He has his boar. He's fine. He'll cook up to the next stage here in a second. I would go man-at-arms in this situation if you think your opponent's going for this. He's realizing now his map is bad. We don't even know what Yinghua is going for. Yinghua has pretty decent scouting of his opponent's resources. It could be better, of course, but Yinghua might go for scouts. You could always go scouts into Conquistadors. But it would not surprise me to see man-at-arms into towers. And now Yinghua will see the wood line. He hasn't scouted all the golds forward. You know, like, he sees these, but from what he sees, he's not thinking his opponent has an awful map. Man-at-arms for both. Yep, Yinghua's making militia, LaaaaaN is making militia, and LaaaaaN will build his mining camp on the front. He has no choice. He has no choice but to build his mining camp on the front. No back golds this time. He did push in a zebra. I like that. Every bit of food is helpful here. It's not easy to go for men-at-arms. Will Yinghua go forward with Vils? You can't go men-at-arms archers. You don't have that option. Well, no, you do have the option, let's be honest. You have the options as Spanish to make archers, but you don't have crossbow. It's the only civ that doesn't get crossbow, so... It makes it awkward for them to just go straight men-at-arms. No, you shouldn't tower at home. You shouldn't tower at home, because if you tower preemptively, then the next time they place a tower, you won't be able to stop it. This is good for LaaaN. I don't know why Yinghua is here. Yinghua is giving LaaaN an opportunity. Both of these militia are weak now. And LaaaN's getting men-at-arms first. And, oh, here come the villagers! Oh, goodness! The game could end right here. The whole best of 5 could end right here. Here come the villagers. Oh, boy. And now LaaaN, he sends his villagers from the gold. The gloves are off, guys. The gloves are off. LaaaN is coming in with 2 wins, 2 losses. And it is 2 wins, 2 losses for Yinghua. They have an equal record. Vegas has been all over this one. It's been close. And more villagers coming out. LaaaN knows that he cannot afford to let Yinghua tower. So he's sending more. He's sending more. This is like McGregor versus Mayweather right now. And Yinghua's Mayweather. He's running away. But will he be able to outlast LaaaN here? More men-at-arms. Oh, goodness. This is so crazy. It's impossible to cast these things, too. It really is, because it's all about the little micros. Oh, jeez. I think this is better for LaaaN. I think this is better for LaaaN. Yinghua has more men-at-arms left, though. Oh, no. Yinghua wins it. Betterville micro, the power of the dragon, and oh goodness, he's going to come right forward in tower. Oh, that was a disaster. That was a disaster. So he lost. He's down 3 villagers. It's 9 kills, 4 deaths, and as we all expected going into this, Mayweather is just more experienced in boxing, and Mayweather's more experienced in boxing, and McGregor, he probably didn't stand a chance. Let's be honest. There's the tower, and this is where it all begins. And you might as well just go back home now, LaaaN, and hope for the best without gold, because you're not going to get gold unless you sneak it somehow. Yinghua should see everyone, right? Yep, gold here, gold here, gold here. Just a matter of Yinghua pressuring that. Now, the question has to be asked, would LaaaN have gone so aggressive with his Vil? Oh boy. Would he have gone so aggressive with his Vils if he knew he had a back goal? Probably not, right? He probably would have just let the tower go up. I mean, map always plays a factor. That's why there are restarts. I do feel a bit bad for LaaaN, though, because that was... I mean, he's had an amazing series, and this is one of the worst maps you'll see in a tournament. It's just bad. But LaaaN is going to get this gold. He's preemptively towered. So he'll take this gold. Long way away from Castle Age, both of them. And LaaaN has the back stone. These 4 men-at-arms can do some real damage, so LaaaN needs to wall in his Vils. And he's sending his men-at-arms forward, and Yinghua will need to do the same. And this tower's great because it denies a wood line and it denies the gold, and he'll probably build another one on the farms here in a moment. Ooh, you know what? Yinghua doesn't see this. Yinghua doesn't see this. Can he wall in the rest of the stone miners, or does he run? No, he's going to run away. Nice job from LaaaN. But, oh god, here comes a tower from Yinghua. That's a great tower. Right on the lumberjacks, which are trapped in. And now they run. And it's all unraveling now. This is what happens when Spanish gets some towers up. Well, I guess he's towering here to get his wood. This seems like a tilted tower. And no, not the Fortnite thing. Because I think there's a tilted towers in Fortnite. This seems like I'm frustrated and I don't know what to do. And I built a tower here. And obviously he needs to have a wood line. But the poor guy's he actually doesn't have the wood yet to build a lumber camp. He's waiting for the wood to go back. Oh, I feel so bad for him. He doesn't have it yet. He doesn't have the wood yet to build a lumber camp. Oh no. I'm really sad, actually. This is an awful way to end a series. It really is. This is an awful way to end the series. He needs this lumberjack to go back, and then he can build it. And this is ugh. Does anyone else feel pain in their heart? Does anyone else feel the same pain that I feel? Or yeah. I feel pain. I feel bad. Like this map should never happen. It's not the first one he's had that's been rough. And then everything else has just been unfortunate from there. Just the fact that he lacked a little bit of wood. All right. You know what, guys? We got to believe, okay? We got to believe. Can we get some hype in the chat? We have to believe that there's a way back here. Yinghua obviously in a very strong position. He's building the market. He will buy some food, and he wants to go right up, and he wants to go for conquistadors. That's the plan for him. But he did invest into 3 man-at-arms. He also got scale mail armor on his man-at-arms, which is could be seen as a waste of res. And LaaaaaN has gold. So LaaaaaN has that going for him. LaaaaaN has the versatility of his civilization. Obviously, his eco's a wreck, but he does have a versatile civ. So maybe he can figure something out. Still seems to me like it's just a matter of time until Yinghua hits Castle Age faster. And now that Yinghua will get his stone back, he can build conquistadors, and LaaaaaN will be behind. But maybe, you know, maybe there's something we're not seeing here, right? Oh, man. Well, if they both get to the Castle Age at the same time, LaaaaaN can be fine with monk defense. Making crossbows is a good decision against that as well. Really what LaaaaaN needs is he needs to annoy Yinghua in some way. He needs to hit Yinghua in some way before Yinghua clicks up. Horsefear, you have messaged me in the Twitch chat 4 times this game asking me to summarize the previous game. And in that amount of time, you could have gone to the VOD and you could have watched the previous game and skimmed through it yourself. Man, I would love to summarize it for you. But I am kind of casting the final game in a best of 5, man. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, man. LaaaaaN loses a villager. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it, Horsefear. Another villager goes down. Oh, God. Stop. I can't look, man. Maybe we should summarize game 4. That seems like a better decision, actually. Horsefear is right, man. Oh. Yinghua's halfway to Castle Age. And LaaaaaN is nowhere near. I think LaaaaaN is dead. Poor guy, man. He 3-0'd Tim. He had an amazing series versus Yinghua here. There we go. He gets a Vil pick. That's something. But Yinghua had an amazing tower rush. He won the initial engagement. This wasn't purely map. Remember, Yinghua wrecked him with the initial engagement. So there was that 9-4 KD after that fight. But can't help but feel bad for the guy. Like, the lack of wood on this map, the lack of gold. There was a map, it was Incas versus Slavs, right? Where he had 3 forward golds. So this is the first series where my criticism of the KOTD2 maps has kind of come into play. I hope we don't see it more often, of course, as LaaaAN's killing a Vil, but like prior to the tournament, I felt like it was a bit inconsistent in many ways. Now, we saw that here in this series, but you know, you got to play the maps to win. And LaaaAN recognizes his opponent wants conk, so he's sending villagers forward to tower. At the very least, this will hopefully give himself some time. Let's look at Yinghua's resources. He's in Castle Age now. Oh, I like it from LaaaAN. He's going to sit underneath the tower, so he's denying the stone. Now, the issue is the knights are incoming, but all of this adds up. This is all precious time for him. 400 stone for Yinghua, that's not enough for a castle. He also lost a few villagers, and now he's going for a monastery, so he's not going directly to conks, and LaaaAN's on the way up. So if LaaaAN builds a few defensive spears, he might be able to protect from the knights, and then he can go for knights and camels. A lot of question marks over this right now. However, I think he's bought himself enough time to stay in this game. And this is all, like, we're all going to look back at this if LaaaN wins and say it was because the Twitch chat affected the course of play, right? That's definitely what it is, nothing else. I think LaaaN should be as annoying as possible. Yeah, be very stubborn. Repair this. Hop back inside. Hop back inside. Hop back inside. Perfect. Hop back inside. Perfect. And by the time Yinghua gets to LaaaN's base, LaaaN should have some spearmen, right? Yeah, he does. He does, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Still no stone income for Yinghua. 1 TC for Yinghua. He sends the knights out. He loses the knights to spears if he stays. And, okay, Yinghua is going to TC the stone. That's funny. That's actually really smart to see that and say, oh, let's just TC that stone. Another forward resource for LaaaN. Now LaaaN can make camels and knights. What he needs is a new TC. But for now, he's fine. It might be T90 fine. It might be awkward fine. Because Yinghua's getting +2 defense in his knights already. And these vills will probably die. But it's much better than we expected, right? Now, I think LaaaN could actually hold his presence here if he gets his camels forward and his knights forward. Oh, and he also sees there's a TC there. How frustrating. Yinghua has a few weak knights, so this knight will die. Yeah, so the stone's still denied. That's the whole point. The stone's still denied. That's the important thing. Camels, knights, spearmen. LaaaN has built a second TC. And if he has the res, and he should, to create villagers, he could hang on here. He has the man-at-arms patrolling on this stone, by the way, if LaaaN ever, or Yinghua ever tries to go out there. He hasn't scouted that. So otherwise, I think he would have probably gone there. Oh! LaaaN's found some gold! LaaaN's found some gold! Click it! Collect it, baby! Get it! Time to boom up! Yes! Let's go! He's found some gold! Little bit of luck. And he's also in on Yinghua's woodline. He's in on Yinghua's woodline. Now, that's actually quite bad because he just lost his camels to the conversions. But we're going to pretend it was very good because we're only thinking good thoughts. Now, I'm not out and out rooting for LaaaN here. What I wanted is an even game, and this is evening out, right? This is definitely evening out. However, that's a lot of knights coming forward from Yinghua, and that's a lot of faith. That's a lot of monks. And oh boy, just like that, with 4 monks coming forward and 6 knights, LaaaN has nothing to secure his woodline. But it's fine. It's fine. You don't need villagers to win games. All you need is a little bit of belief. Okay? I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. Not villagers, belief. Not golds. Belief. And the old man agrees. He gets a conversion. And now he's running. And he's gonna die. Yeah, this is tough. LaaaN is probably in trouble now. He's behind by 15 vills. His opponent has stone, so he can build the castle. Obviously, he doesn't have control of most of his golds. He came close. But Yinghua's going to build that castle now. I guess the question is, where will he build it? If he wants to, Yinghua could go for an aggressive castle on the front. With these vills, he could plop one down, say, right here. He could also build one on the hill. The one on the hill will disrupt LaaaN, and it will also defend his own gold, so that's nice. He doesn't really need one right now. It is 69 vills versus 49. And yeah, he'll place it more towards where I mentioned before. And LaaaN just needs good conversions here. He needs good conversions and to kill all the monks. Good conversions, kill all the monks. No. Not happening for him. And I think after an insane series, Yinghua will take the win. LaaaN calls the GG. And my heart is broken but Yinghua obviously deserved it. He won the first fight, and then that's all he needed with his civilization. He had to still scout the map. He still had to make sure he wasn't lamed. He had to take advantage of the map. He had to boom up to the point where he could get Castle Age against a civilization that should be better in Feudal. And Yinghua did everything right with what the game gave him, and he wins this best of 5. And we will have a Chinese quarter. Round 3 will be Vivi and Yinghua. And Yinghua is a bigger surprise than LaaaN is here, as far as getting to this stage goes, because Yinghua beat Doubt 3-1, and now he's beat LaaaN 3-2. However, guys, I think it needs to be said, congratulations, LaaaN, for at least playing really well. He's competitive, so he's not going to be happy that he's lost the series, but I think he got a lot of fans today. He played really well to beat Tim 3-0 in round 1, and then rounds 2 he had some amazing games. 50 kills for Yinghua. Economically, he was way ahead. We knew this. We were looking for good things. We couldn't find enough, and neither could LaaaN. And that is the end of the best of 5, my friends. So let's look at the brackets, okay? For those here on Twitch, we will have more games today. We're not finished yet. We will move on here in a moment, and we will get into Leary and Vlies. Also going to be a great set. But for those watching on YouTube, you guys probably want to see the brackets. So here you have it. Take a look. I might need to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, this'll do. This'll do, right? I don't have it integrated into my overlay yet. So LaaaN is now out of the event. He will move on to face Vivi. And whoever wins that goes into the semifinals. So that gives Vivi a good edge, I would say, despite how good Yinghua's been to get to the semifinals. What we're going to cast next is Leary and Vlies in a best of 5. And this part of the bracket is really interesting because Leary is favored to win. I would say, being the runner-up in the first King of the Desert, he's probably heavily favored. And let's assume he does win in the next set. Then he will face the winner of his 2 clanmates, who we will see tomorrow, MBL and Nikov. So we have 3 of the Aftermath guys here, and only one's going to get passed to get to the semifinal to face Vivi. So exciting stuff. Obviously, Viper won earlier, 3-0, and he will face off against either Tato or Hera. Tato and Hera will play tomorrow. And then we have Max and Lix, who will also play tomorrow, and that will be the decider to see who faces Yo. At the moment, we have Viper, Yo, and Vivi in the quarterfinals waiting for their opponents.